Lady Vol herself, got to go. I mean, that is close to a fireable offense. You had the number one team against the ropes, and it was coaching malpractice down the stretch.
Yeah, there is. You never see a guy that is coaching men's take a women's job. But how good is that Tennessee women's job?
I really don't know.
That'd be better than some lower tier men's jobs, though, right?
I would think. I mean, it's SEC money.
I don't know what kind of money it pays versus a lower men's job. I know. What's a lower men's? Give me a lower men's job. You're talking about like.
I bet I can make $1 million doing that job. So how many?
I would.
At Tennessee women, you know the crowd they put in.
If you were as good,
I know the crowd they used to put in.
Yeah, if you could put that crowd back, you'd be worth $1 million.
Yeah. I bet I can make $1 million. Doing that
I mean,
job.
I think the LSU's paying the old girl they got from Baylor $3 million.
$3 million. Yep.
I think Dawn Staley at South Carolina, who's earned it, by the way, she's really good. I think she's $3 or $4 million.
She's making 3 or 4.
She's making close to what Lamont Paris is making, if not more.
Kim Mulkey was at my dog park yesterday. Hey, it looked just like her. Her dog was as mean as she was.
She's whipping the dog.
Did you hear what she said after the women's fight?
I had to leave the dog park.
I saw that Staley handled it better. I did not see what anybody said, but I saw in the chat room everybody was like, Staley handled it much better.
Make sure I don't have it. Okay. Kim Mulkey said, I wish you'd who's the bigger Angel? Yeah. I wish you'd pushed Angel Reese. I mean, you're 6'8". Push another big girl. Don't push somebody who's 5'10".
Yeah, that was the story.
That was her response.
I killed a chick 6'8".
I will never forget one incident changed my entire opinion about two coaches, and it was that big brawl that Cincinnati and Xavier had. Mick Cronin and Chris Mack. And Cronin handled it so well, and Mack was just so dismissive of it. And I never liked Chris Mack after that. Yeah. And I've always liked Cronin since then. Now,
yeah, that's really one of the worst things that can happen on your watch when you have a brawl that you can't control. Now, that didn't live up to that yesterday.
No, it did not. But for her to say, I wish you'd push somebody else, I mean, come on.
Harper makes $1 million a year, says David there. Kim makes $3.6 million down at LSU. Bobby says Tennessee played defense to the point South Carolina's 6'8" center had to go 23.3 feet away to hit her first buzzer of her career. That's not coaching malpractice. That's coaching genius, he says.
I lost you the game.
Bobby over in the chat room there. We appreciate all the comments, and we appreciate everybody who joined the show today, including Danny Cannell, T-Bob Hebert. You can get that all podcasted wherever you get your podcast. Video always at YouTube and our video platforms, broken down by our social media team, and also audio-wise at Spotify and Apple. Remember, like and subscribe wherever you watch us or hear us, and give us a thumbs up or a like. Until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time, God bless you and God bless America.
Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
One of the craziest movement days in the NFL. We'll get to that coming up in the show. It was insane. And by the way, they apparently have a little cap space in Atlanta. More on that coming up as they get their quarterback. We are already disagreeing about some March Madness things in here. We'll talk about our bracket challenge. We discussed in the show meeting yesterday, later in the show. You can join that if you're in the chat early today. The TNR Bracket Challenge presented by MyBookie.ag. An easy link there. You say, Jim, why would I need to go ahead?
Why, Jim?
And sign up. I don't have to fill out. Just secure your spot. Go ahead and get in there. And you never know when we may hit our limit. So secure that spot and go ahead and get in there. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com.
Do you know what that limit is?
I don't, but hopefully we hit it.
Is there a limit?
Yeah. I don't think there is. It's a sales pitch, guys. You want to jump in?
I thought you might really have a legitimate limit.
Are they playing a tournament this year, Jim?
Listen, y'all take your time. Jump in there with the bracket anytime you want to. It's no rush.
Jimmy Urgent.
Wait until the last second. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. But we, apparently, according to Taylor Lunsford, you finally won poker again last night. Is that a true statement?
Finally won when I'm the third winningest person there, but yes.
Why did that come up?
Yeah, I was in the chat room early. Taylor there. Congratulations to you. Not only was Lunsford a winner last night, Samford basketball back in the NCAA tournament. Way to go, Samford. They did this with all the pressure in the world on them. 28-5 going into the game last night. They had dominated the SoCon. A lot of great stories about Bucky all year long. But all that did was put the pressure on this team to have to win this game because they likely are left out if you don't win the game. And you see the video there of them cutting it down there in Asheville, the net, and Bucky gets the last piece of the net, pulls it down, and gets that turnaround and hold it up for all the Samford faithful who made it up to Asheville. Just an impressive run all season long from this basketball team. And, you know, it's not like these mid-majors or low majors have enough of an obstacle, but now they're done here on a Monday night. We're sitting here on a Tuesday morning, and their likely scenario for Samford is they don't play again until a week from this Thursday or Friday. Bucky's best coaching job is going to be having to keep this team sharp by the time they actually play, because they won't be they're too good to be in a play-in game by the time we get to their first game of the tournament.
So think about this. They have not played on this stage since 2000. And I remember watching them, I think it was against Syracuse or St. John's, and Mark Salyers was a great player. By the way, dated our friend Brittany Wagner when she was at Samford.
How about that?
Yeah, but he was a complete stud and played overseas for a long time. But I remember the nerves getting to Samford when they got to the tournament. I think this team I think the nerves were there last night. I don't think they played their best basketball, not even close last night. I think they were really tight. And on the broadcast, you know, they were talking about Drake ends up beating Indiana State. Indiana State probably still in. They were talking about Drake might have been on the bubble if they lost. They were like, if Samford loses, they ain't on the bubble, which I agree. There was no chance a SoCon team was getting in, even with 27 or 28 wins. But I think the pressure was there last night, and now they'll have a week to really, I don't know, I think they're going to be relaxed, and I think they are a dangerous projected 13 all over the place. 13s play fours. There are two teams in state right now projected as fours. Committee's got a sense of humor. Don't be surprised at all. I would go stake right now. And this is giving you one free back. I think Samford will play either Alabama or Auburn in the first round.
Well, I mean, the odds, I'll take that stake bet, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Have you looked at the selection committee? Do you know who's on the committee?
Oh, I don't know who's on the committee now.
Is Martin Newton on it?
He is.
Yeah, he has to recuse himself.
But there's someone else in this discussion that's on it.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That'd be Greg Byrne.
Oh. Yeah.
Let me back that up a little bit. Because you know what? Martin Newton.
Scott's already flashed the lights.
Well, Martin Newton wants it. Greg Byrne doesn't want it.
Yeah. As Jim says, they have to recuse themselves when they're discussing their teams.
Yeah.
But as I always point out, they also have to come back in the room and look somebody else in the eye that's going to have to recuse themselves.
No doubt. You're about to leave next. I saw what you did to my ass. It's coming back on you.
Thank you. Texas and Houston. Yes. Yes.
But, I mean, imagine if we got that game, whether it was Samford versus Auburn or Samford versus Alabama.
Zach says, so you're telling me they're playing Auburn.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, both those guys are going to be on the committee. I don't know how it will go. I kind of like your stake bet there just because you see Alabama and Auburn both on the 4, and a lot of people think Samford's a 13. And they do tend to have a sense of humor.
I saw them go in a different direction. I saw them Samford against Kansas in Lenardi's latest.
Yeah, my gut feeling.
That ain't good.
Well, I mean, if you're ever going to beat Kansas, this is the year.
You say that. Dickinson's not going to play. McCullers isn't going to play. Those guys. So they basically flushed the Big 12 championship.
That's right. They're resting up, trying to get healthy, but they're not healthy and they're broken. But now they're broken against the best teams in the Big 12.
The Big 12. Yeah. We were talking about Achor, which is he's a fun player to watch out of Australia for Samford, and he is really the only size they've got at 6'9". But Hunter Dickinson, when he's on at a legit 7 feet, that's a bad matchup.
If Samford played either Alabama or Auburn, it's more dangerous to me for Alabama than it is for Auburn because of Janai and Dylan Cardwell at Auburn.
I agree.
Alabama would have to have a big game from Pringle and Grant Nelson.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, the bigger concern for Alabama against Samford is Alabama doesn't defend anybody. And Samford can burn you if you're not a good defensive team. I mean, they're a good shooting team. They're going to shoot. They're going to press the heck out of you. I mean, you saw that last night. East Tennessee just kept inbounding it into the deep corner, and Samford just kept trapping them in the deep corner. I'm like, what are you doing?
Insanity.
They just kept inbounding right into that trap.
That's what leads to 19 turnovers.
Yeah.
And I was ready. I really thought Samford would dominate that game. I thought they'd win by 20+. I thought they might be a little tight, but I just thought East Tennessee State, after playing 3 consecutive games in 3 days, playing their 4th game against this Samford team, would be worn down. But they were sloppy. They turned it over 19 times, but give Bucky a lot of credit in this Samford team. I mean, this is exciting, but if I was an in-state team, whether it be Auburn or Alabama, I want nothing to do with this team.
I would just say one of the hardest things in sports to do is what Samford did, and that is be in a good conference. And I think Southern Conference is a good mid-major conference. It's a good conference.
It's not a bad basketball league at all.
Yeah, it's a good basketball league. To be in a good conference and win your regular season, be obviously the best team in the regular season, and then win your conference tournament. That is hard to do.
Because you got 2 or 3 teams that are good enough to beat you on a single night in a tournament that can eliminate you in these one big leagues from going to the big dance.
One bad game is all it takes.
All it takes is not even really, it just takes one C game sometimes if the other one has an A. Rockstar, give me cut 1. Let's hear from Bucky McMillan, 40-year-old rising coach. Listen. I didn't jump on tweeting last night because I got a little. There were a lot of people in my business that were. I told you when Samford hired Bucky that this was going to happen, and I was like,
was that out there last night?
I don't remember. Do you remember everybody?
Give me one guy. Go on and just throw one out there.
Just throw one. Friends of mine.
But do you remember that being the reaction when Bucky was hired? I remember it being like, "Wow, that is a ballsy hire by Martin Newton." Because I remember this is pre-Nate Oates, obviously, and this is when we were in radio, and Alabama was languishing under Avery Johnson and just kind of a boring, nothing style. And we used to get a lot of, they ought to go hire Bucky McMillan. They ought to go hire
at Alabama.
At Alabama. And I laughed at that. I'm like, I think Bucky's a phenomenal high school basketball coach, but the Alabama job's an awful big job.
But he was better than Avery Johnson.
Because he cared.
Yeah, but I thought...
Yeah, right. I mean, that's half of it.
Yeah, but the point would be you could probably do better than Bucky, which they did with Nate Oates, obviously. Nate Oates is a good coach, but I don't think Bucky was ready for the Alabama job coming straight out of Milton.
Well, the unfortunate thing, we still see it. We see it in the chat room that people hold this Bucky, the World Series of Poker player.
I don't get that.
By the way, winners win. I don't care. Seriously, I don't care what you're playing.
Would you rather your coach be good at poker or bad at poker?
Good at poker, yeah.
Listen, I like my coach to win at every freaking thing. Yeah. If he's going to win out in golf, I like him to be ballsy on the golf course.
That's right.
If he's going to sit down and play poker, I like him to win at poker.
But my point was...
If he sits down and coaches basketball at Samford, I like him to take pictures like that.
With nets around his neck. Yeah. I don't remember a lot of people like, this is a slam dunk hire. I think a lot of people like, this is the hire I want to see how it works out. Yeah. And it's a huge gamble by Martin Newton.
Oh, yeah, I think it was a low floor, high ceiling, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you got with Bucky. And I think if Bucky is able to win a game, then there's going to be big decisions that are made because there's going to be a lot of jobs that are opening up this year. Yeah. And we'll see what happens. But great job out of Bucky. This is going to be exciting to watch Samford. There was a Samford viewing party last night at Odie's in Crestline. And I thought about going out there, but just watched it from the friendly confines of the couch. But, boy, it was fun watching them win this game.
I was impressed by the number of Samford people. I know they loaded up a couple of buses late yesterday and took more students up there. Ton of people in Asheville for the game. Here's Bucky afterwards, just talking about his heart being full for this basketball team and wanting them to get their reward.
So happy for this team. So happy for Samford University. I remember sitting in this deal our first year. We played as a 10 seed. Our first year here, we won 6 games. Came in here, we lost by 35, 40 points to Mercer. And I remember we had to recruit players. It was my first recruiting class. We had to convince guys that we could win this league. I said in that press conference we'd win this league, that we'd get the top of this league, and we'd win this tournament. And we did it. These are the first guys to win a SoCon championship for our university. And that's so hard to do, because now all the teams that come after them will be able to see it and they'll be able to believe it because it's been done before. And I'm so proud to do it with this group. I told someone earlier today that I've never wanted a team to win a championship more than this team right here. In a day and age where there's a lot of me going on, we had so many upperclassmen come in and buy into roles that would equal winning. And I'm just so happy for these guys. I'm so happy for our university.
That's Bucky last night. Really good on the podium. And for this team now, they will wait for Selection Sunday and then start preparing for a first-round game. But as we were stating, they don't have to worry about Dayton. They won't play on Tuesday and Wednesday. They are good enough in all the computers that they'll skip over those play-in games, and they'll be in the field of 64 when you're filling your bracket out. And that's a cool thing for Samford. Haven't done it since 2000. Have they been to the tournament 2 times before this?
Yeah, I think it was 99 and 2000.
Yeah, it was back-to-back years. And it was St. John's and Syracuse, and I forgot which way it was. But less than a week ago, and it was one of the more electric atmospheres we've ever seen for college basketball when we were in Uptown down in Birmingham getting ready for both Alabama and Auburn to play. And I don't know if you guys remember this. We were doing a big Bud Light promotion at the Southern down there, and we were on the rooftop, and we were all watching Furman and Virginia.
I remember well.
And Furman out of this conference, and I think it was Fletcher McGee that actually hit the winning shot. But Furman was in this exact spot, a 13 against a 4 in Virginia, and they were able to advance.
Yeah. So we could see Samford playing into 32, maybe even the Sweet 16, but a long wait coming. We'll get back to Bucky a little bit later on. Do you have one more thought, Brownie, on the Samford Bulldogs and just what they've accomplished there? I mean, look at the program now. The football program, not this past year, but the year before, was in the FCS national semifinal game, had to go to Fargo, always tough, played on national TV, and now Martin Newton's got his basketball team in the big dance. Couple of good coaches there down at Samford and some national exposure for the program.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who they get matched up against. If it's a team that's got a big front line, again, a Chora at 6'9" is the only size they've got. But if it's a team that doesn't handle the press well, you saw this last night, they are going to press you. That is Bucky ball. You're going to press after almost any made basket. And they can create a ton of turnovers. So if you guys shake your guard play, Samford's a team that could beat you.
Well, Samford's a team. I think they've got 7 D1. They're in the top 10 offensively in 7 different categories right now, including points per game, where they're scoring over 84 points per game. So this is a team when they catch fire. And again, they were off last night.
Yeah. So Samford's in. We'll talk to Stephen Pearl coming up in our next segment about Auburn as they get ready to roll towards the SEC basketball tournament up in Nashville. So Stephen in the next segment. LT, so no stake bet on the Alabama-Auburn-Samford matchup, right?
I don't know.
Once you found out Greg Byrne was there.
Just make sure. Just want to make sure. New York Butcher Shop, though, does bring us our stake bet updates right here. New York Butcher Shop. Those great locations right here in Central Alabama.
Yeah, I talked to our man Jim just yesterday. Great dude. You need to stop in. Hey, look, if you've got people coming over to watch the games this weekend, then you can stop by the New York Butcher Shop. They've got great catering options. We don't talk enough about those huge deli sandwiches and the catering options for your next business lunch. Of course, when it comes to the finest in Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you, they can get it done right there at the New York Butcher Shop. One-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
You will get a lot of headlines today from Nick Saban and Greg Byrne. They are speaking on Capitol Hill at an NIL and college athletics roundtable that's going on as we speak right now. Nick Saban talking about NIL being a great concept, but the issues is booster involvement in the recruiting process, creating a pay-for-play model. And Greg Byrne being very honest in his opening statement, if it wasn't for football at Alabama, we would not have 21 sports at the University of Alabama. And we don't want to see college sports lose women's athletics and Olympic sports. So that's how Greg Byrne opened up his testimony in front of Congress today.
No, he's right about that. On a couple fronts. Number one, because of all the scholarships you have tied up in football, you've got to counter that for Title IX with other women's sports. So there's one way you can interpret that. But also because college football pays the bill for everything else in college athletics is the other way you interpret that. That's what Greg meant.
Yeah, I mean, look, the equality only goes so far. You've got to take care of what really generates the revenue.
That is correct.
And that is Alabama, and that is it's always been Alabama football from day one. And you got to give Alabama credit. They're never going to lose that focus. We're going to take care of what got us here, and that's the alpha, which is Alabama football.
Hayes Fawcett covers recruiting for On3 Sports, and he tweets this last night. Those who say Kalen DeBoer can't recruit are real quiet right now with 2 red exclamation points because Alabama picked up Derek Smith last night, a 4-star wide receiver or listed as an athlete for the 2025 class. And Hayes goes on to write, since arriving on campus, DeBoer and company have landed 5-star plus wide receiver Ryan Williams. They've flipped 4-star defensive lineman Antonio Coleman from Auburn. They now have signed Derek Smith, the number 4 athlete in the 2025 class, Zamir Smith, the number 13 athlete in the 25 class, and you can't forget elite portal additions of Keon Sabb, Austin Mack, Jeremy Bernard, and Parker Brailsford. And he ends this with saying Alabama isn't going anywhere. That's from Hayes Fawcett.
Look, Brailsford's going to end up being first-team All-American. I really believe that kid was that good.
All-American.
Wow. Yeah, I think he's going to be your first-team All-American center. I think probably going into the season, and then if he stays healthy at the end of the season, would not be surprised at all. And if you guys are interested a little bit more on this, yesterday, Alabama's Aaron Suttles did a deeper dive into Kalen DeBoer and the recruiting.
Yeah, because this is the time of year usually we get what's wrong with Alabama's recruiting. So there were a lot of people
even when they're number 1,
they were concerned about that. Now here is, there's always 2 sides to every story.
Okay, so this is the anti-Hayes Fawcett. Now Hayes Fawcett does not cover Alabama. Hayes Fawcett's a national
guy on 3 Sports.
Yeah. Right.
5-star cornerback, the number 1 cornerback in the country, plays at Parker High School in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Naheem Offord.
Yeah, already committed to Ohio State, right?
Already committed to Ohio State. This is where I'm going with this, Brownie. Uh-huh. The number 1 safety in America. Make sure I say this right, Lunsford. He's at your school at Thompson. Anquan Fagans. Am I right about that? Fagans, yeah. Anquan Fagans, 5-star safety, doesn't have Alabama listed as one of his 3 finalists right now. So these are the 2 best players in the state of Alabama, and they don't have Auburn either. So one's going to Ohio State. Clemson and Georgia lead the way for Fagans at Thompson right now. So the state schools got to circle back around. Long time to signing day. Not as long as it used to be. Now it's only the first week of December, but a long way to signing day. So you got to circle back around on a couple of these big guys who you would think back in the old days when Nick Saban's coaching staff was there, these 2 guys would almost be automatic in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I think it would be emphasized in meetings by Saban, we ain't losing these guys.
Yeah, and, their defensive backs, too. They just look like they were, former instant Alabama commitments.
How about Lunsford says in the chat room, Fagans was committed to Southern Cal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, so you got the top 2 players in Alabama, Ohio State and Southern Cal.
Yeah. Well, that's why you saw Ryan Day at back in the fall at a Parker basketball game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it shows you a couple of things. That NIL spins.
Yeah, and Ohio State's all in.
And Ohio State, USC, and national programs, how much they respect the in-state high school football right now.
Right.
Yeah. As Chris is pointing out, the DeBoer team is working already over there. Fagan's brother is already transferred from Alabama, so we'll see what happens with that and how it moves on. So that's good and bad in the recruiting circles right now. A long way to signing day. We're not a recruiting show. We just pass along some of the bigger news for you there. So Samford is in. A little Alabama football recruiting news. We get ready for Nashville in the SEC basketball tournament coming up. Stephen Pearl in the next segment. First segment of the show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. Before LT tells us more about Odie's, he already did a little bit. It's a big day down on downtown at Legacy. Coming up at 11. You got time to get there. And if you're watching this at work, it is a great day to head down to Legacy and enjoy a little professional basketball, because today it's all about the kids down there. This is the opportunity with the folks at Whataburger to give back to the community. It's Literacy Day with the Squadron, 11 a.m. You can get your tickets at the door, or you can go online to birminghamsquadron.com. But Literacy Day is presented by Whataburger, and they're feeding all the students lunch who are at the game today. The top 3 schools who finished in the Battle of the Books program will participate in a halftime activity, and the top classroom is going to receive a new library from the Squadron and Whataburger. That's awesome. And the national anthem today will be performed by 8-year-old violinist Sam Williams. The Squadron, right there, business person special today, 11 a.m. down at Legacy Arena. You can get your tickets at the door. Also by our friends at Odie's, a great local neighborhood pub.
Yeah, we'll be out there tomorrow night, the original location in Crestline for Odie's Team Trivia. We do that every Wednesday night. Get there a little early. We start about 8, a little after. Enjoy some great food from Rodney Davis award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, chili, corn dogs, grilled cheese. Bring the kids for a lunch or early dinner. 2 locations. The original in Crestline that I just mentioned will be at tomorrow. The newest location in Homewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Enjoy ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. It is Odie's Tavern.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with Walk-Ons.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing today, getting you ready for the storm season that's coming up. Good time to go ahead and get that roof checked, but you have storm damage. Greg from Pell City will get on your roof and repair the storm damage. He also gives you a free, no-cost roof inspection. All you have to do is look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, or you see his number on the screen right now, 205-542-3531. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. He and his wife own the company, and that's his cell number I just gave you. So a free no-cost roof inspection, roof replacement, storm damage. Keep that number handy, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City.
Auburn Associate Head Coach Stephen Pearl with us now. He is kind enough to join us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Coach? How are you today?
Doing well, fellas. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. Auburn does not play until Friday, the old double bye in the SEC tournament, which is what you play all year to earn, and Auburn has earned that. Before we get to that, I learned something this morning that you already know, and I am new to understanding this. For all of us sports fans, next week is one of the greatest weeks in sports, the start of the NCAA basketball tournament. I learned on Twitter this morning it is also the first day of the college basketball transfer portal. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, Monday marks the first day of the NCAA transfer portal.
What are we doing here? Why would you have the transfer portal the same week as the NCAA? What are we doing, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, they pushed it back to try and help teams for this exact reason, but it kind of has made it really even more difficult for those that are still going to be playing. So, yeah, it's delayed a little bit, but it's still going to be chaos. I mean, like right now we're trying to get ready for, obviously our first couple games in the SEC tournament, but we're also spending half our day kind of looking at the transfer portal to see that guys that are planning on entering, or watching film on them and looking at their analytics and all the different things while we're trying to get ready for our next couple opponents. So, it's just kind of added a little bit more, to our plate in a time that we're trying to obviously win some games to try and win a championship. So it's made it a little more crazy than what it already was.
Okay, with that said, is there a player on your mind, obviously you're not going to say anything, that the minute it opens, are you dialing his number?
Well, I mean, we don't really know for sure, like, who's going to jump in. But, throughout this season, like, what a lot of staffs will do is we try and evaluate, the best players in each league and what we think that we'll potentially need in the hopes of obviously having an understanding and being prepared for just in case they do jump in. So we definitely have a list of guys that we're going to keep an eye on. But we're not tampering. We're not calling anyone. Like we're just kind of waiting for it to happen. But we definitely have a list of guys that we've kind of looked at throughout the year to kind of say, all right, well, if that guy goes in, he'd be one that we would definitely try and get on, right away. But, to answer your question, no, we have not seen any Dalton connects in the portal coming up that we're going to be going after right away.
But I bet there'll be a lot of copycats this year. Northern Colorado, I'll take a flyer on that guy.
Yeah.
So, listen, there are 6 solid NCAA tournament teams at least in this league. When this season started, in all honesty, to look at the league and say 13 wins, I don't like using exceeded expectations, but that's a heck of a season to go 13 wins in this league when you got 6 teams that are locks in the NCAA tournament already. Talk about that accomplishment a little bit and how this team came together to get to 13.
Yeah, I think, Jim, if you look at the beginning of the year and looking at the schedule that we had put together, if you had told me the first week of the season, you guys are going to go 24-7, 13-5 in the SEC, like where the hell do I sign up for that? You know what I mean? So, in 2018, we won the league at 13-5. So that just shows you, how good the league is. And Tennessee wins it at 14-4 this year. So, we're tied for second place, and we think the best league in all of college basketball. There's it just shows you how tough the top of the league is. There's 4 teams that go 13-5, which is just insane. So yeah, I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment in this league. It's the second most SEC wins, tied for the second most SEC wins that an Auburn team's had in program history. So it just shows what we've been able to accomplish. But yeah, this league is just insane. You look at teams like Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Auburn, all teams that could really make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. So it just shows you how strong South Carolina, didn't even mention them, who's obviously was picked last in the preseason and finished tied for second and almost won the whole damn thing. So it just shows you the depth and breadth of this league. And the SEC tournament, your first game when you have a double bye is going to be like a Sweet 16 caliber game. Right. So it'll be an unbelievable way for all of our teams to get prepared for the NCAA tournament, because the first team you're going to play is likely the team that you're going to meet in the second or the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, if I can ask you, because it's been something we've talked about and the fans have really bought into this, how this could be BP and yours best team at Auburn. Why do you think that? Why do you think fans believe that? Why do you think they like this team maybe even better on paper going into the tournament than the Final Four team or than Jabari and Walker's team? What resonates with the fans about this team?
I would say probably the depth of what our roster is kind of compiled of. We've won 24 games by double digits, which is that's insane. So I mean, I think it just shows that this team has some strengths. Analytically, it's the best team we've had since we've been here, so maybe that's part of it as well. But I think the Final Four team, that team was just a special team. Because they, had a lot of spurt ability in them and their ability to make runs and obviously make shots. And this team has a little bit of that in them. And if you look at our last 5 games, you've kind of seen that offensively from this group. I think the biggest difference is that this team has consistently defended all year long, kind of like Jabari and Walker's team did. But our offense wasn't as good the year Jabari and Walker here. We relied heavily on Jabari's production for us to win games, whereas this year, it could be a different guy every night. It could be a guy like Denver Jones who makes 7 threes. It could be a guy like Chad Baker-Mazar who goes at Georgia and scores 25. It could be Janai and Jalen who both put 24, 25 on South Carolina and on Alabama. You know what I mean? It could be Aiden Holloway, who hasn't really broken out of his shell yet, has the ability to really just take off whenever he really feels like it. So just different guys like that have been able to show their ability to step up in games. And it's almost a different guy every single night. So I think that's why this team has kind of resonated with a lot of our fans. It's one of their favorites. But obviously, we'll learn a lot about ourselves this week coming up in Nashville.
Stephen Pearl, the associate head coach for the Auburn Tigers, for a few more moments on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. From the guidance you guys get from the NCAA selection committee, how much emphasis in terms of seeding do they put on conference tournaments, do you think?
I mean, we don't get a ton of guidance on it. All I can go off of is just what we've had in past experiences. When we went to when we won the SEC tournament in 2019, I think we went into the tournament as a 5 seed, won 4 games, came out as a 5 seed. So you look at Tennessee, the year that we Jabari and Walker's year, right? We won the SEC that year. We're 15-3. We go into the tournament as a projected 2 seed. We lose to Texas A&M. We stay as a 2 seed. Tennessee goes into that tournament as a 2 seed, and then they win 3 games, win the SEC championship. They stay a 2 seed. So I mean, I think
so. None. It doesn't appear they pay attention at all.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really give us any guidance on it, but I just don't know how much actually changes this week. So people always ask, is it better to just get some rest, or is it better to win a couple games moving forward? I think you learn a lot both ways, but I think to win a couple games in the SEC tournament, to even win the championship, is really important, because it gives your guys a little more confidence moving forward and a little more of a boost heading into those NCAA tournament games. But yeah, I don't know if the SEC tournament, because it's so late, it goes Wednesday through Sunday. I'm not sure how much it really helps or hurts you unless you're on the bubble. If you're on the bubble and you're a team like Mississippi State, who probably has to win 1 to just guarantee that they're going to get in, it's important for them. If you're a team, it could have been like Ole Miss if they hadn't had such, or Texas A&M. Another example, Texas A&M, wins 2 or 3 games in the SEC tournament, that could get them in. So I think those bubble teams, it obviously has a little more of an impact on them. But teams that are already locked into the tournament, I don't think it does a ton for them.
Yeah, that year down in Tampa, A&M was in the same spot, and they beat you guys. And I forget how deep they went. I think they played all the way to Saturday.
No, I think championship, and they didn't get in.
They didn't get in.
They played Tennessee on Sunday of the finals, and they ended up getting beat pretty bad, and they didn't make it in. But if they had won that game, obviously they would have been the odd. But I think they had some really bad losses that year, which really hurt their resume. This year, their resume stacks up a little bit better because they have 6 or 7 quad 1 wins. They have a couple bad losses, but I think their resume works a little more in their favor this year to allow them to, obviously if they win a couple, it could get them in.
You're a big numbers guy. What did 29 assists against Georgia mean for you?
Man, it didn't feel like that because I thought we played a little selfishly in the first half, honestly. When we got to the locker room and it was 17 assists on 19 made field goals, I was like, no way. But you go back and watch the film, and I thought our guys did a really good job of obviously sharing the ball, making the extra pass, and part of it was kind of how Georgia guarded. But it's kind of been our thing all year, sharing the ball, facilitating the ball. We're top 10 in the country in assists per field goals made, so it speaks volumes of our guys, willing to share it a little bit. And then obviously it helps when guys like Denver Jones make 7 threes. That obviously boosts your assist numbers up a little bit. So it's definitely a stat that we love to see. It's something that we encourage our guys to obviously do because, you look at our games, you look at our 24 wins. When we win, I think our assist turnover ratio is 20 assists, 9 turnovers is the average. And when we lose, our assist turnover ratio is 14 assists, 13 turnovers. So when we take care of the ball and when we share the ball, we tend to have a lot better chance of winning the game.
So you don't play until Friday. You're on the lake today. You're playing golf. What are you doing? What's the plans?
Man, I wish that was the case. Now we've been in the last couple of days grinding, getting ready for obviously you have South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. All 3 teams. Arkansas, Vanderbilt included, are playing probably their best basketball of the year. Vanderbilt just beats Florida at home, who's one of the most dangerous teams in our league. Arkansas obviously goes to Alabama and gives them everything that they can handle. Probably should have won the game, but Alabama obviously did a great job of finding a way to win that one. And then South Carolina, has won, I think, 5 out of their last 6. So you have 3 teams that you're trying to get prepared for that are all playing really good basketball right now. So all the different scout teams are working on their scouts. And, we'll go pretty hard today in practice to get the guys ready, and then we'll travel tomorrow. Thursday we'll watch the game, whoever plays South Carolina, and then we'll get ready for that one moving forward. But no lake, no golf this week, so it's all business trying to get ready.
How big is the screen that you watch game tape on when you guys are doing the scout? Or you guys aren't staring at little computer monitors, right?
This is an SEC program.
I mean, you got some big screen, right? Because I'm worried about your eyesight. You watch a lot of tape.
Well, with the team, we obviously watch it on a big screen, but when we're in our offices watching, on our scouts, we just use our actual laptops and just kind of work off that. So, my eyesight's gonna be screwed in a couple of years. So I'll just be prepared for it right now.
Take it from me, man. As I get older, just don't waste your youth. Go get a little lake time in. Get a bigger screen in that office. Don't lose that eyesight, dude.
Yeah, if I stay in coaching, I'm gonna have a head of hair like you, so I'm gonna try and avoid that.
Well, I think that was uncalled for, Stephen, to be honest with you. We'll go very SEC here. We'll go to the monitor and see if that's a flagrant, too. We're going to put the headphones on real quick.
Sometime around 2:30, 2:45 Friday, you'll see Auburn play either Vandy, Arkansas, or South Carolina. Good luck in those games, Coach. We greatly appreciate the time, as always.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
All right, see you next week. Coach Stephen Pearl, kind enough to join us every single Tuesday on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Brought to you in part today by our friends at Legacy, LegacyCreditUnion.com. But I want to give you a different website today. I want to give you SwapAndDrop.com. Just go check this out. Just jump on SwapAndDrop.com, and you'll find out how you can swap your auto loan from wherever it is right now to Legacy and drop your rate, 5.50% APR. It's going to lower your monthly car payment. Your monthly car payment is going to lower the overall price of that loan. Just a great way. You can shoot the QR code there on the screen if you want. SwapAndDrop.com, SwapAndDrop.com. Whether you have a car loan, boat loan, camper, motorcycle, even an ATV, you can swap your current loan provider to Legacy, drop your interest rate and monthly payments. Apply online, SwapAndDrop.com. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. 9 local Birmingham branches. If you want to check it out, SwapAndDrop.com, SwapAndDrop.com. Little T, Dunaway trying to encourage Auburn coaches not to prepare for games.
That's what that sounded like.
Just want the guy to get out and enjoy a little sunshine.
It's
71 and sunny today.
We discussed this yesterday. You heard him right there with some pretty good data from a major conference of how little it appears what you do in Nashville even matters. Other than winning a trophy. And I believe if they're giving away a trophy, you play for the trophy. I really do believe that. And you'll get plenty of rest. Look, these guys, they've played AAU their whole life where they play 3 or 4 games a day. They play all weekend. Playing 3 straight games in Nashville is not going to hurt them in terms of their legs for a game Thursday or Friday.
You guys remember one of those, they always do the tips to win the national championship, and I think one of them for a long time was don't win your conference tournament.
Don't leave it all on the floor at your conference tournament.
I mean, I'm kind of with you, though. If you're there, why would you not play your hardest?
I mean, I don't think there's any coach that, as long as your team plays well and you haven't played like a crap game, or maybe sometimes you play a crap game, you're like, got it out of our system at least.
Well, I'll tell you this, Gonzaga never bought into that. And look, maybe not a good example because, by the way, we've got Gonzaga St. Mary's tonight.
I know.
Isn't that shocker?
Yeah,
you guys ever seen this?
That conference?
In the West Coast Conference Finals. But, Gonzaga always wins these tournaments, and they have played for 2 national championships.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that.
Of course, I guess they could go through the motions and win them back in the day, right?
Yeah, back in the day until St. Mary's got really good. We talked about it yesterday with the last 10. I'll never forget when Syracuse went to Madison Square Garden out of the tournament.
On this day in history, by the way, whatever year it was.
Was this the day?
They went 6 overtimes, won that game, and that was one of the best runs in a Big East tournament.
And they won. They played their way into the tournament because they won even if they lost in that Big East championship, there was no guarantee they were getting in. And they got in as a 5. They went from out of the tournament to in as a 5. And I remember they were everybody's sexy pick, and I'm like, this team all year long has been not good enough to be in the tournament. How do you think they're going to be a good 5 seed?
I'll never forget when Georgia had the amazing run when we had the tornado in Atlanta.
That's right.
And then they get in, and oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember who they played.
6? Lance, were they a 6 seed?
I thought it was an 8-9, but maybe. But I remember they got run off the court.
Yeah,
and you just kind of knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
Like Dennis Felton saved his job for a 1-game situation where they got their asses whipped. And it didn't matter, and then he was fired the next year.
And didn't they play 2 games in one day?
Yeah.
To win the SEC
championship game. Yeah.
That was a remarkable run. I'm not going to take anything away from that run. But to Lance's point, most of the time in the NCAA tournament, you show who you really are, and who they really are was that whole year.
Brian, in the chat room, if I'm a head coach and I got a $250,000 bonus incentive to win my conference tournament, I'm slapping the floor like Wojo. Come on, defense. All right, when we come back, we'll make the rounds through what happened yesterday in the NFL. Klay Travis, top of the hour show, being brought to you today by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. The man that's decked out in the battle blue today, the royal blue, is going to tell us about Woodhouse.
Are you saying this is a soft color?
No. I'm saying it's a relaxing color, the kind of relaxation you get at Woodhouse.
Yeah, the gift of relaxation. Just a great place, too. And they're doing some great March Madness specials. So how about this? You want to go watch games all day with your buddies? Send the wife or girlfriend to Woodhouse. It's that simple. There's a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. And you can order that special person gift online. You don't have to leave your desk, your house. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or just stop by the Woodhouse Day Spa, located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stewart and the gang the Next Round sent you.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Back with you on the Next Round.
He's not the coach at Alabama anymore, but this Nick Saban quote is not going to play well.
Okay. Nick Saban quote that's not going to play well from Ryan Brown in just a second.
Tease.
That's a tease.
On the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I'll tell you this, man. My man John Lunsford is part of the Way to Wellness family. And just open Lunt's mic here. Luntz, tell me just real quick, how awesome is Leslie and her board-certified team? You go by there every now and then. Tell them just how awesome they are. They greet you with a smiling face every day.
They do. It's fun to go in there and talk to them, and they've helped me change things for the better, just like I know they did with you, and they've done with Melton now, done the same thing. And yeah, it's fun to go in, and every time I step on the scale, there's another 5 to 10 pounds going off.
I meant to say this to Lance yesterday. I'll just say it on the show. I have not seen Lance for a week because I was out of town, and when I saw you yesterday, I could see it in your face, Lance. You're down a good bit.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I meant to tell you that yesterday.
Yeah,
it's been 6 weeks. I've lost 43 pounds.
Yeah, I could see it.
I've never heard you say that to Dunaway.
Yeah, can't see it in my face.
Dunaway, you look incredible.
Yeah, I love how Lance will throw a hand grenade.
I haven't. I mean, he's been talking about Way to Wellness for, how many years now? And Brown's never said, man, look, your face looks good. Or
Brown and I are broken. I'll go ahead and tell you. Brown and I are like politics in America. It just needs to be wiped clean and start over. And I'm probably Biden. He's probably Trump. I'm the old one that gets lost in my words sometimes.
Neither one of those are young, trust me.
What was I saying? No.
I do need some advice when you guys get done talking about Way to Wellness.
All right.
Okay, Way to Wellness.
And a bad Saban quote.
Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living, helping Lunsford, me, now Melton, the whole Meltdown crew. They'll melt that weight off of you, and you can go see Leslie and her board-certified team at Way to Wellness. Just start by going to the website at planforme.com, planforme.com. They've actually cleaned the scale since Brown got on the scale barefooted. You'll see that video coming up here in a second, a little bit.
I was told.
You were told to get on there?
Yeah.
You didn't wear socks that day?
I did not.
When did you not wear socks?
Oh, wow. Did they throw the scale away?
Yeah. It has been sanitized. We talk about that down in the office all the time.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. No contracts, no sign-up fees. and your first consultation's free. It is a healthy way to lose weight. Go by and check them out at planforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Before we get to crazy Saban,
it's not crazy Saban.
Okay, it's a wild Saban quote.
Yeah, no, it's not wild. It's just not going to play well.
I've got a song in my head. I can't get it out, and it's been like 3 weeks. And like last night, I couldn't sleep. And it is the worst song, and it's driving me crazy. Like, I don't know where I heard it. I don't know when I heard it, but I can't get it out of my head.
And you need advice on how to do that?
Yeah, how do you get these songs out of your head?
What song is it?
Oh, my God. Rockstar is going to die. It is Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald's This Is It.
What you do? Oh, that was my senior song. This is it.
So did you do this to me?
This is as good as it gets. This is it.
It is an awful song, and I hear Michael McDonald's like background vocals in it.
What you did, they said to get rid of an earworm, you have to sing to yourself the end of the song to let your brain know that's the end of the cycle.
So cool.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay, well, I'm going to have to Google the lyrics because all I can hear is, this is it.
What movie was that?
Do you remember?
I don't even know. It had to be a movie if it was Kenny Loggins, though.
Do you remember, though, that it was also the theme for the NBC National Championship game coverages before it was on CBS, I believe, in 82.
Boy, we've come a long way.
And it was, This Is It. It was an opening. I believe it was Bryant Gumbel courtside. And this is it. The national championship game.
Magic and Bird?
No, that was 79.
No, but it's one thing to get a song in your head that you like, and that's annoying enough. But if you get one in your head that you can't stand, and I'm not kidding, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I got no sleep last night.
Because of that song?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things going on, but the song was what was just background of me not sleeping all night.
Do you have the lyrics, final verse?
I mean, my God, it just goes over and it's over.
I mean, it's kind of like, you remember 40-Year-Old Virgin when they had Michael McDonald on in the Circuit City or Best Buy or whatever it was, and he just says, I mean, same lyrics over and over again.
No one can tell what the future is. This is it. Your back's to the corner. This is it. You make the choice of how it goes. This is it. The waiting is over. This is it. No one can tell what the future holds. This is it. You're going no further. This is it.
Wow. You're going no further? That's a great senior class song.
This is it.
So what happens? Does he jump off a bridge?
That's it. Boy, Michael McDonald said, all right, Kenny, I got a deal for you. I'll write half the song. You write half the song. I've got This Is It. What you got,
but it's so like over the song. I was trying to figure out a way to do it, so I Googled the song. The song won a Grammy. How in the hell did that song win a Grammy?
Yeah, it was bad music back then. Am I right about this? Google this. Coca-Cola used it in a Coke commercial. I think they had Coke Is It.
Okay, your knowledge on this song is
wild.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Coke Is It.
I hope it gets in your head. I hope it escapes me and gets in your head.
Coke Is It.
I don't remember that.
What is the Huey Lewis song? This Is It? Is that?
No.
If this is it.
If this is it.
Please let me know.
This is it.
Please let me know.
Boy, he was a big doo-wopper, wasn't he?
He was a little bit, yeah.
Do you think Sankey used to sway at sock hops to him?
Sankey doesn't move like that.
I'm not seeing it.
No Coke Is It?
I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing...
Steve, LT's OD'd on edibles catching him. Hey, for the record, like, I hadn't been sleeping the last few days, and I was like, maybe it's because I've had a couple of cocktails. So I went, no edibles, no alcohol, nothing last night.
1980 is Coke Is It.
Coke Is It.
Look
So I
at
don't know
this,
if that's
man.
the same song,
That always
though.
on a heater.
Yeah, he really is.
I'll take early 1980s trivia for 500. All right, the Nick Saban quote today. Again, he is testifying in front of an NIL subcommittee of the congressional hearing up in Washington, D.C. He and Greg Bernard, they are speaking as the show goes on today. What's the quote that's not going to play well?
Nick Saban, quote, again, as you pointed out, I need to put this in context. They're talking about paying players and players now wanting money. And this quote from Nick Saban, he said his wife Terry came to him before his retirement and told him, quote, "Why are we doing this?" She told him that players now only care about how much money they are making. And I'm not saying it is untrue.
Oh, it is true.
But I am saying I really don't have a tolerance for college football coaches that are getting paid that much money complaining about players only wanting to play for money. It just is it's not going to play well. And on top of that, by the way, the guys you're talking about are still Alabama football players.
They are? Or no? Some of them are.
Some of them are.
Look, I don't have a problem. This guy has earned
Some of them are at Texas.
the right to express his frustration. And look, he was paid a ton, but that's because he was that good. And I don't think Nick Saban ever got into coaching for money. Do you?
I don't know that he got into it for money, but I do know that obviously every time he had any success, his agent was knocking on Alabama's door for more money, and I thought
his
he earned
agent
every
got
dime
into
of
it for money.
Oh, no doubt.
There ain't no doubt. But
he
like,
earned every dime of it.
That's why he hired the best, and you take care of that. But there is a frustration, and look, I get it, and I've always been like, players can get paid. This thing is getting out of whack. But when it comes down to when you just lost to Michigan, the eventual national champions, in the Rose Bowl, and your first questions to Nick Saban are, how much money am I going to get next year?
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I like.
So where's the middle ground for you, Brown? Because obviously you're a pro player. I understand that too. Everybody understands these guys need to get paid, and these coaches make a lot of money too. Where's your middle ground though? Because the coaches, for a team to be successful, there's got to be some buy-in to team, right?
There does, but do you
like Michigan was the best team last year?
I don't understand. Do you think there's buy-in for team in the NFL?
I think the ones that win, yes, I really do.
I agree completely. Do those guys play for free? Are they not trying to get the best deal they can get every time their deal comes up?
They are, but they are not. Their deal doesn't come up every year.
It doesn't, but
I think there is a difference.
See, that's
there.
a problem.
I think that the nonstop tampering is what leads these guys. These guys wouldn't have done that. Look, they want their money, but it wouldn't have been the first thing they talked about.
Have you ever seen a college football coach say, I'm not going to take that raise. I got 9 wins. I expected this team to get 11.
Nor have I ever seen a sportscaster say, I won't take that raise either. So let's be fair.
Am I busting these guys for...
No. I'm just saying let's be fair that anybody that comes up in America and offers you more money,
you're going to take
99.9% of the time, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm underpaid anyway. I need more money.
Well, didn't Jim Harbaugh take a pay cut to kind of turn everything around at Michigan?
To save his job. I mean, that was basically, look, you're on the hot seat. And he said, listen, I'll get off the hot seat this way.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jim Harbaugh got all that money back and now is in the NFL making even more money.
Yeah, this is not going to fall on deaf ears for me.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I am not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying when college football coaches whose salaries have increased drastically over the last 10 years, are complaining about players wanting money, to me, I don't see the difference.
Just to be fair, he started off by saying he's all for the NIL and the players making money. Right. His way he started the things off. I think the conversation that they're having that, we're getting snips and bits of it because we're not watching it, is how it's impacting the sport. So you've got to, in sports, have some control over it. It cannot be a constant free agent contractual dealing. Everyone's
but that's the way it is for coaches.
Well, there's guardrails. I mean, the coaches do have buyouts.
They do have buyouts.
They do, but every single coach.
Do you have buyouts for players?
You can't. I'm all for that, guys. I've talked about that the other day when they're employees.
And that's what this committee is about, trying to get to where you can have some, I hate using the word guidelines, some structure to how the players are going to be paid. We're not going back to where we're not going to pay the players. The question is, how are we going to pay the players?
And there's no perfect answer. I mean, it's so difficult.
And the only way you can do it is to have a contract. And a player can sign it 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, 4 years, however you want to sign it.
Fine with me.
And that's the way it's going to be, because if it's a continuous thing like this, then this is going to be the problem, is that we're going to sit here and it's only human nature that if I've got a negotiating option as a player, we've just finished the Rose Bowl in this case, well, this is my window to get more money, either from my school or the next school. And so I'm going to go and say, how much can you pay me? Because Burnt Orange School in the West, we won't name, is going to offer me this much money.
Yeah.
And,
which, by the way, Nick Saban did the same thing.
And you can get...
Nick Saban did exactly what you just described.
Doing what now?
That Alabama finished a season, his agent saw a window and leveraged the Texas job against Alabama to get him more money.
And he could have easily left and gone anywhere he wanted to go.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the players, though, when you've got to keep a roster together, what did Kirby Smart tell Josh Pate?
I didn't see the interview.
Kirby Smart told Josh Pate, I just want to know who's going to be on my team every year.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is my biggest hurdle. It's not anything on the calendar. I just need to know who's on my team. And that's what we've got to fix, is who's on my team.
Don't disagree.
And that's the fluidity of the roster right now that is causing the problems. And the players are only doing what is natural. You've got an opportunity to negotiate and go somewhere else and make more money. But every time I've got my biggest raises in my career has always been when I've had an option to go somewhere else.
I would agree 100% with you. We've learned that, yes. Now, there was never a single contract we had in radio that all three of us, that we did not fulfill every single word of that contract.
That's
to
right.
the very end, never
That's
once. But that being said, and I'm fine with that, I have no tolerance for coaches bitching about the transfer portal. They're worse than the players. There was a coach at Arkansas that coached a practice at Arkansas, and that afternoon was introduced at TCU.
Yeah.
They're worse than the players. The coaches can't bitch and complain about the transfer portal. They're worse than the players about it.
Yeah, well, Nick Saban's a retired coach now.
No, he is. He's not even talking about the transfer portal.
That's what I'm saying. You're making it sound like you're saying that's what he's doing. You're saying Nick Saban's bitching about the transfer portal. I'm just cleaning it up for you. That's the way it sounds like you're talking about.
You don't have to clean it up for me. Okay. I'm just saying that Nick Saban is talking about paying players, which, when we're talking about players getting money and coaches are making tens of millions of dollars a year, that is hard for me to swallow, coaches complaining about that.
And again, he is saying we're all for paying players.
If you'll let me finish.
Yeah.
And when we start complaining about players going to coaches after one good year demanding more money, when coaches do that every single time they have a good year, that's going to fall on deaf ears from me. And when coaches complain about the transfer portal, when they jump at the next biggest job the minute it's offered and they don't really care what they leave behind, that's going to fall on deaf ears. The coaches are the worst people to preach about this stuff because they've been doing it their whole career. That's all I'm saying.
Klay Travis is scheduled to be with us next. Redmond Vodka bringing us part of the show here, LT.
Local product, locally owned and operated. Make sure you get into your local ABC store or package store, including the Beverage Place Pink Package. Ask for it by name if you're at a local bar or restaurant. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. Available in 22 states, gluten-free, 8 times distilled. It is Redmond Vodka.
All right, back in a moment on TNR.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com. Or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Well, we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, I downloaded the app yesterday. I'm looking forward to see what the Autograph app has to offer during this basketball and upcoming football season. Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app, co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself. This app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports, access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merchandise, and a lot more. Just look at this. On Autograph, hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket this past weekend. $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. True fan pricing right there. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access. TNR, and even more awesomeness is coming soon, just in time for the big dance, the big tournament. Stay tuned. Download today in the App Store the Autograph app.
All right, Klay Travis is with us now. You find him on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, the founder of Outkick, and you see him on Fox now. What is up, Klay? How are you?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. You know, we were just talking with Stephen Pearl about the fact that, and he gave us like 7-8 teams as an example of how the SEC basketball tournament really, or really any conference tournament, doesn't affect your seeding one bit. Tennessee looks like they're a 1 seed right now, according to Lenardi. If you're a Tennessee fan, you want to raise a trophy, but if it's really not going to impact that 1 seed, what's your feeling on the SEC tournament?
It seems like whenever it can hurt Tennessee, it does impact seeding, and whenever it can't have any impact at all, it doesn't have any impact at all.
That's when you win it all, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly, if you guys remember a couple of years ago, Tennessee beat Kentucky on Saturday. Really good Kentucky team. And then I think they beat a good Auburn. I don't remember exactly, but Tennessee ended up a 3 seed. Despite winning the SEC basketball tournament, which they hadn't done in like my whole life. And then Lenardi came out and said, well, the brackets were already set. Even the Saturday afternoon result of beating Kentucky head-to-head, which was a great win, that was a 2-seed Kentucky team, didn't change anything. Tennessee was a 3 seed. And then they ended up, if you guys remember, in the second round, Michigan played really well. Tennessee couldn't hit any outside shots, and they lost. And that was a team that was good enough to go to the Final Four. And I remember, look, I've got a long memory, like a wife in that respect when it comes to Tennessee being screwed. Look, the Tennessee a few years ago, I mean, it's been a long time now, but was in the running for a number 1 seed, lost to Auburn, if you remember, in the SEC championship game, and got the number 1 overall 2 seed. They said, well, if they had beat Auburn, you know, and won the SEC championship, we would have given them that seed, but they lost. And then another one, this was, I think, the year that the tornado hit, maybe like 08, 09, something like that. Tennessee was also the number 1 2 seed, and they lost, I think it was to Arkansas. Do you remember that kind of dorky guy that had the headband, the white guy, like had the game of his life against Tennessee? I don't remember that guy's name. He was really athletic. But he ran around, long hair, headband, like he couldn't miss that day inside. Tennessee lost, and they said, well, that was the reason. I think it was maybe the semifinals that Tennessee lost that game. Anyway, I bring up all of this to say I'm skeptical that if Tennessee doesn't win the conference outright, that they will still get the win the tournament. that they already won the conference outright, that they will still end up losing that number 1 seed somehow.
Somebody just said you sit down to pee. Is that
they
true?
said that about Danny Cannell yesterday too.
Who said I sit down to pee?
Just somebody in the chat room. I mean, I've done it in the middle of the night, just when I'm feeling lazy.
I think, I don't know why you would stand and pee in the night. I mean, I think I've regularly said that I sit down to pee at night. Like, otherwise, I don't know about you guys. I've got 3 boys. I go into their bathroom every now and then. They have like a bathroom that they share. And it looks like, a Beirut prison in there.
Yeah.
Urine everywhere. It looks like a mud splatter scene. I don't even know how they hit the ceiling. They don't ever sit down to pee. I wish my boys sat down to pee more often.
CSI Travis.
Yeah. I've also had to have, I think I've spent thousands of dollars on them clogging the toilet. I'm not even kidding about this. The number of times the plumbers had to come out. So I wish I had more control from the Travis boys when it comes to urine discipline.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen this. The in-season college basketball invitational tournament is going to offer $2 million NIL payouts, and this is going to go down. It looks like. How cool would it be with all of the money that is generated if teams this year in the NCAA tournament were playing for the winning team got like $15 or $20 million?
I think it would be very, very cool, and I wouldn't have any problem with it because there's a lot of people making a lot of money off these guys in the NCAA tournament. Now, a couple of things. This is the advice I always give to anybody out there. Be careful that you're not hurting yourself long term by the choices that you're making in the short term. And right now, whatever you can make in college for the vast majority of athletes that are talented is a pinprick of what you can make at the next level. And I was talking about this recently with some people about the NCAA football game, and people are like, "Oh, they're only going to get $600, like they're getting absolutely taken advantage of." And I said, "Are you kidding me? You're going to have millions of kids playing with a team. If you're a talented athlete, they're all going to learn your name and all of your physical attributes, which is going to make you, if you're good, tens of millions of dollars in endorsement dollars down the line." And so I think you have to be careful in some ways chasing college money at the expense of what you can make as a professional. But in general, I certainly think that college kids deserve a worthy compensation for their efforts. Now, I just saw the headline right before you guys came on. Greg Byrne is testifying, I think, right now on Capitol Hill about NIL-related issues. And I think what people have to be comfortable with on some level is, one, there's not very many athletes that actually have any substantial value in college, right? We're really talking about like 150 kids, if that, total. And there are tens of thousands of college scholarship athletes. So, I mean, we're talking about a pinprick of a pinprick. And then remember, there's a difference between NIL and pay to play. What somebody like Olivia Dunn would make off of Instagram is NIL, right? She's getting paid by some, like athleisure company and makeup companies and things like that. What Caleb Williams did with Wendy's is NIL. Pay to play is different than NIL. And so, again, I think I've told you guys, I don't see any way this ends except everybody being employees and getting paid a sort of a fixed dollar amount. But I do think we're headed for kind of uncharted waters. And I think lower tier athletic programs, certainly, and lower tier sports. And by lower tier sports, I mean the ones that cost a lot and don't make much, are really, I think, going to be to substantial cuts.
Listen, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'd love to know how you feel about this. A lot of college fans tune in for the brand, the Tennessee uniform, the Alabama uniform, the USC uniform, the Notre Dame uniform, and not as many people tune in for what is now the UFL, what has been the XFL and the USFL. There is a big gap between the best football in the world, the NFL, and college football, that if these players, if there ever is a salary cap in college football, and the players don't like it, and they go to some startup league to play instead of the college football without those great uniforms, I don't think the TV ratings will be there. There is something about, I tune in really to see the Alabama uniform and the LSU uniform as much as I do the players. Is that a fair statement? Do you feel like a lot of college football fans are that way?
Oh, I think the vast majority. I think most fans, and I even think it's true in the pros to a certain extent, but I think most fans tune in college beyond a shadow of a doubt for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey. And by the way, some schools don't even put names on the back of the jersey, but that even proves it even more, right? I think people need to be careful with the system that they are creating and where it leads. I'm not somebody who runs from change. I've certainly benefited in my career from, for instance, the rise of the internet. You guys are benefiting from the digital streaming technology that allows you to not be beholden to a large radio company that could otherwise not pay you what you're worth, right? So I think technology and change, paradigm shifts provide a lot of opportunity as much as they do challenge. But I do think, I wonder how many people are sitting back thinking, how do we make things better for the fan? Because ultimately that's what makes sports grow, is when fans become more engaged. I think a playoff is the right answer to make things better for fans, expanded playoff, certainly. But I do think you have to be careful I don't think it's crazy. And people sometimes say that I'm crazy for saying this. I don't think it's crazy to think that a star player, could walk in on the Wednesday before Alabama-Auburn and say, unless you pay me $250,000, I'm not playing in the Iron Bowl this year. Some of you guys may think that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That would not fly well.
No, they could now. Now, if they're employees under contracts, you don't play that game, you don't get your game check. I mean, that's the difference there, right, Clay?
Correct, which is why you have to ultimately be employees. But right now, we're in that weird range where, let's say a top player doesn't get the deal that he was supposed to get, and he walks in and says, "Hey, coach, I know this is a big game to you. I'm going pro. Be a shame if suddenly my ankle's acting up and I can't take the field. I need $250,000." And I'm using Alabama-Auburn as a big example, but it could be, Ohio State, Michigan. It could be USC, UCLA. I mean, a big rivalry game, a big signature event. I think we're going to see a player go public with the fact. You guys may think I'm crazy, but just kind of until this employer relationship happens, where the kids better be careful because when you're contracted, you got obligations in a way that are even more significant than what you got now.
I will tell you, the day that happens, Clay, Jenny Dale's getting a hell of a pregame interview from me because I'm going to sit there and say, I'm going to tell you what, our quarterback, Ryan Brown, just told me he needed $250,000 to play in this game today. And I told him he's not dressing out today. We're going to go with our QB2. And I hope any NFL team that's thinking about drafting him in the future considers the fact that he may hold them hostage someday too. Jenny, thank you for your time. Roll damn Tide.
Here's the funny thing, guys. I'm a donor to Tennessee. I've given them a lot of money to buy players. Right?
Hey, by the way, do you get a tax break with that?
Technically, I'm supposed to, although the IRS, this is disputed now, the IRS says NIL donations are not necessarily tax deductible. And so there's a bunch of people with lawsuits out there arguing that NIL is tax deductible, right? But one of the things that I hear, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this publicly, is a lot of schools are getting themselves in trouble, not by what they are doing for recruits, but by every player in the locker room talks about what they get paid. So, this is why I think there needs to be a salary cap. But, if you give starting tackle X $100,000, everybody else on the offensive line finds out what he got, and then they want their share too. So whenever you pay somebody, and I think the college coaches have learned this, but I don't think it's been written about very quickly, you're setting a market for the whole team. And it makes sense, right? Like if you find out that one of your, secondary teammates, right, somebody who's playing the other corner is making $250,000, you naturally are like, well, then I'm worth $250,000, or I might not be quite as good as him, but I'm worth 180 or 200. And then the other thing here is we don't have traditional agents for most of these guys. And so you got somebody's uncle, somebody's granddad, somebody's mom, somebody's dad coming in and saying, hey, here's the reality. I expect to get paid X or Y. And, you know, the amount of time that these coaches now are caught up fundraising and everything else is really off the charts. So I think everybody recognizes this is a broken system and it doesn't make sense. And I think the question is, how long is it until we get to a system that makes sense? And I don't know the answer, but certainly sooner rather than later, I think it's better for the overall sport.
So our good friend Josh Pate, 24/7 Sports, and there are not many people in the sports media that have better relationships with the current head coaches than Pate does. You know, maybe a Herb Street, people like that. Just tweeted this. Overheard Klay Travis on The Next Round pose the nightmare scenario of a top college football player holding out for more money the day of the game. FYI, that happened in the SEC last year.
Okay.
So
well, that is crazy.
Do tell.
Right?
Yeah, I'd like the rest of that tweet, Josh, if you don't mind.
Yeah, but can you imagine the position that puts you in? Where, I mean, it's almost like a, hostage situation, right? Like, if you don't get me $250K by kickoff, then I'm not taking the field. I've got a tweaked ankle, right? And suddenly you're scrambling to get a guy, how hard I've done it. You know how hard it is to, not for college athletics, but you know how hard it is to get money wired? Nobody talks. I don't know about you guys. LT's got a shady. There's no telling how much cash he's had at one point or another. But, most people have never had more than like $10,000 in cash in their entire lives, right? Like, and I've only had it in Vegas, right? Because why else would I ever need $10,000 in cash? It's hard to move substantial sums of money. Most people don't have access to lots of cash, right? And so the whole cash business, unless you're a stripper, like how many people actually are walking around at their place of work? And I know sometimes waiters and waitresses, but even that's not much of a cash business anymore, which is why it's making it harder for them to hide their taxes on tips and everything. Like, it's really hard to move cash is my point. Unless you're engaging in illicit activity, right?
You can move it through a casino pretty easily.
But you have to initially get the cash.
Yeah, okay.
For LP to jump in and be like, actually, the way you know.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple.
He just streamed Ozark for the second time.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, it's true. I mean, that's why drug dealers love casinos, right? Because they can bring $100,000 in cash in. They can put it – this is just a backstory. I mean, they can put it on the table, and then whatever they win, right, with the dollars – over $10,000 gets reported, and so you can wash substantial sums of money by playing casino games, even if you lose 20 or 30%, right? If you're betting $10,000 a hand or whatever the heck you are, you get all the whale benefits of being a Vegas high roller. But, that's why so much of this cartel cash, that's why so much of the Coke money, rolls through, and then they go buy property with the cash that they cleanse to try to then have the ability to launder that cash and prove how they're getting the income, right? I mean, this is like laundering 101. But to me, it's really hard to end up for most people who have normal jobs. You're not walking around with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. People say, why do you want the cash? You don't want it to be traceable, right? When you're buying Cam Newton for $180,000 like Auburn did, which now even more so looks like the greatest buy in the history of college athletics, you don't want somebody coming back to you and being like, hey, why'd you write a check to Cecil Newton for, $180,000? Like, the IRS can find that. The IRS can't find a suitcase of cash. So anyway, we're just living in the Wild West. I think it would be an amazing television show if all these coaches came out and actually told the true stories of what's been going on since NIL started. And for everybody out there who's like, oh, these people, they're really bad, they're really cheating, everybody's doing the same thing. Do you think, just be rational yourself. How many of you guys out there who have ever had to make a decision on a job took a job that paid you a quarter of what somebody else would pay you, right? Like, nobody's like, well, I was going to take $200K for this job, but instead I took $40K. No, you're going to take the $200K. Everybody's playing. Everybody's bidding. Everybody's equally dirty, to the extent you want to call it dirty. I've wondered what 100% free market would look like in college athletics for a long time. What's a 5-star worth? Well, now we know. And the reality is, to me, the craziest part of all this is I'm a Titans season ticket holder. I don't know what my friggin' Titans tickets cost, but they're not cheap. Can you imagine if an NFL team, after I went to go watch the Tennessee Titans play, they were like, and oh yeah, if you want to win games, we need you to go pay all the salaries of the players you just went and watched. You'll be like, that's what I'm buying season tickets for.
I know.
How are you asking me, like, hey, if you really want to win, Derrick Henry's a free agent. We need you to make sure that you sign Derrick Henry. I'm like, you're the team. I'm paying you $10,000 a year. I don't know what my tickets cost exactly. Why in the world should I be paying for Derrick Henry's salary? Yet that is where we are right now in college athletics. I think people, and look, I'm not claiming that I'm some, moral authority here. I mean, I've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to the University of Tennessee NIL at this point. But the idea that you would be, asking people who are paying millions of dollars in season tickets to pay for the players that otherwise the team's going to stink, to me is a crazy world that we're in right now, and I don't think it is long term a way to exist.
All right, he is Klay Travis, the founder of Outkick. You can follow him on Twitter at Klay Travis. See him on Fox as well. Thank you very much for the time, Klay. Have a great week.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Klay with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And the show being brought to you in part by Johnston RV Brownie.
I get to tell him about one,
You
Jimmy.
do, yes. Running joke on the show today. Before the show is I was letting everybody know whose live reads are.
Yeah.
And Brownie gets called on twice today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jim's like, not that it bothers me.
I told him I'd give him some of mine.
LT and I working our butts off
right.
over here, Brownie. Pay the bills, Brownie, one time.
Johnston RV Center. Listen, they are so dedicated to making sure you get the best price and the best deal that they want to make it very easy. So they've got an all-new pricing plan right here. Every single RV price has been repriced. They've guaranteed it that it's been repriced, and they're going to make sure you get the lowest price anywhere in the country. If you find a lower price on a comparable model, they will beat it. They'll beat it. Don't forget, new and qualified used RVs covered by a lifetime RV from RV Warranty Forever at Johnston RV Center. They're going to match the price on any comparable RV that you can find with this all-new pricing structure there at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at The Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
We will not participate in trying to guess who Josh Pate was talking about.
No, SEC's a big conference.
Right.
14 teams.
I think we could probably, could you put together a list of 10?
But I love the fact you guys are doing it in the chat room.
It's full fun.
It's entertaining. Keep going, because I'm enjoying watching.
You missed this with Ooze, the medalist, the other day.
Is it O's? It's O's.
I'm calling him Ooze. But he asked me to think of one, I don't know if you knew this, Brown, one current NFL or college player, go to Google Images, snap it, and he was going to tell us on the air who my player was. And I was like, there's not a chance in hell. Now, we never got to that point, but people guessed all day, and nobody was even close.
Yeah, but...
Well, Puka Nacua would have been my first guess.
Would have been mine, too.
No Rams.
Who'd you pick?
Devin Neal, running back, Kansas. One of the best running backs coming back in college football.
LT was out to get Ooze.
I wasn't. No, not at all. He was the guy that said, hey, give me a player, and he never wanted to circle back to it.
Yeah. I will tell you that that is a very interesting thing. Just nutshell it, Brown, for those that may have missed it last segment.
Klay Travis was talking about a nightmare scenario in college football before players become employees if in the current structure, and I guarantee you coaches are worried about this. When Nick Saban's talking before Congress today, this is one of the things he's thinking about. A player walks up before a critical game and says, I know I'm a big part of the game plan, but I also know I'm underpaid, undervalued in my NIL deal. I'm not playing today unless I get X amount more dollars. And if you're the school, what do? Do you go into the most important game of the season without that player?
Yes.
Or do you bow down to him and set a bad precedent?
No.
And Josh Pate is watching the show or listening to the show, and he tweets out, Klay Travis just unfolded that nightmare scenario on The Next Round. FYI, it actually happened in the SEC last year. So,
and I assume the coach, because I didn't watch it, there's the Josh tweet, because I didn't hear about it. The coach didn't take my plan and out the guy in the pregame interview.
Well, not with Jeannie Dale, at least. Maybe it was on one of the low-tier SEC network
games. If it was SEC network, I'd be like, Cole, I'm going to give you a little break right here. Yeah. Here's what happened.
I mean, look, there's 14 teams in the SEC.
Alyssa.
And there's a chance it might have been a lower down the ladder player than you would think, right? Maybe the player is hurt, and this is the backup, and the backup knows they got to have me today, so I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. You never know how it went down. But I trust Josh. Again, as I said, there are very few in the college football media world that are more connected with coaches, that get more access with coaches than Josh. I can only think of a couple. Guys like Klatt and Herbstreit, who are on the high end of the sport, are guys that get more access than Josh does. Yeah. He's tight with a lot of these coaches.
I don't doubt it. I just can't believe we're in a world where that actually exists.
Yeah. He's also tight with a lot of players, too, Josh is, because I stood next to him at the Rose Bowl Media Day as Alabama was leaving, and players and coaches alike walking by to get the bald-headed guy out of the way to talk to the other less-haired guy, Josh Pate.
Yeah.
Get out of the way, Dunaway. Hey, Josh, how you doing, man? Hey, Josh, love the show, man. Love the show.
Did they say Dunaway?
They didn't say Dunaway. Push me out of the way. Yeah. Josh is that well liked inside the locker rooms and coaching rooms.
This is on the Hills, of course, and I know you guys might have mentioned it. The backup Vandy quarterback saying he was approached to fix a game. So a lot of people say a lot of things, obviously for a lot of reasons. I don't know if the Vandy backup quarterback was telling the truth or not, or if there was an ulterior motive to maybe promote a podcast he's doing now.
Is that another example of I got a death threat?
Yeah.
That is Mo Hassan who said that last week. We didn't get into it because it is my belief that if you say things about that if it was true and he said things like that, Mo Hassan would not be still walking around.
You know why? I didn't believe it. Now, maybe I'm wrong about this. You guys can correct me, but if I remember the story I read on it, and I was a little bit disconnected last week, was Mo Hassan says this on his new podcast, such and such. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a reason.
That's really what he said.
I think that's the article I read, yeah.
And we didn't get into it last week.
Yeah, I don't know how Vanderbilt really fixes a game because they ain't going to win.
Yeah.
It's easier to fix when you're a favorite.
It's already fixed.
How much are we going to lose by? All right. Show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports. They get you back in the game when you tweak a knee, swinging the golf club. Maybe you slept bad a couple of nights in a row, and then you go out and try to play pickup hoops, and you tweak something else, or you pull something, you break something. They get you back off the training table and back into game and back to work. All you have to do is call this number, 205-512-3885 to make an appointment, 512-3885, or go get more details at precisionsportsortho.com/2024. That's precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Listen, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics gets you back to your life, and there's no better way to do orthopedic care than with a group. It's better together, and it's better with Precision Sports. 205-512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com. 4 downs coming up a little bit later on. I will tell you.
Got it, by the way.
Ready to go? Yeah. Good. I would tell you that Bitcoin hit a record price yesterday, 72,000.
Do you guys cash out?
Not that I don't know, but I wanted to know, are you cashing out? Because I think you said if it got to 68, you were thinking about cashing out. It got to 72.
You know what, right? As of right now, I'm not heavily invested in Bitcoin. I can make a little bit of money if I did cash out. I was thinking about it this morning. I was looking at one other one I had, too, that is at an all-time high.
It'll never be this high again, Brown.
That's what they say, Lunsford.
I would sit for another day after he said that.
Lunsford, they say it'll never be this high again.
I mean, I think the Winklevoss twins said last year is going to hit 100,000. Didn't even get close to that, fell off the planet. So, I mean, it's got to happen this year, apparently.
Well, they didn't have any interest in that, did they?
I've ridden through a lot of volatility. And Lunsford, I don't know how heavy you are into actual Bitcoin right now.
I got a little.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of actual Bitcoin. I've got, my normal amount of crypto. But, boy, I tell you what. What are you laughing at?
Normal amount.
No, but what I normally have. Like, I've got limit. I'm not going to get way out over my skis. This is way too volatile to have a ton of money tied up in it. So I've got a limit of how much I'll allow myself to have exposed in the crypto world. Do you do that way, Lunsford?
I said that at first, and then I made a little money. So it changed after that. But
you guys just need a financial podcast.
No. I mean... I think people do that in the stock market, right? Is they set their own limits of what they're willing to have exposed in the stock market, and this is more volatile than the stock market
until they get a little taste.
I literally stopped listening 2 minutes ago. I threw this out there as a transition from one thing to sports.
Because Jim already knows.
I was expecting this to be 60 to 90 seconds. I didn't expect to get into this much of the.
That's my fault
NFTs.
too.
How are NFTs doing right now?
Anyway, Jim, it's high right now, and I have not sold yet.
You're not going to sell?
And Lunsford apparently hasn't either. I may see where this goes.
Yeah, what happened to the NFT? We got pitched that a long time ago.
If I was heavy into Bitcoin right now, I'd probably sell.
This would be the time to get out.
Yeah, but as little as I've got right now, I may just see where it goes.
Crazy day in the NFL yesterday. We're big NFL fans, and nobody was surprised Kirk Cousins went to the Atlanta Falcons. The surprise came with the amount of money. $100 million guaranteed. $100 million guaranteed. 4 years, $180 million is the contract. Kirk Cousins is 35. Kirk Cousins is coming off a season-ending injury last year. This seems like a big roll of the dice for the Atlanta football Falcons.
Well, look, there were only 2 Vikings quarterbacks, and I read an article today. It was pretty interesting. Really, the Vikings haven't had – I brought this up with the Bears last week. They haven't had a franchise quarterback since Sid Luckman. The Vikings haven't had one since Fran Tarkenton. You've had some good quarterbacks like Dante Culpepper, Jeff George, Randall Cunningham, but he has the 3rd most amount of starts. Yeah, Brett Favre for that 1 year was really good. In Vikings history at the quarterback position, Fran Tarkenton, then Tommy Kramer, and then Kirk Cousins. He made $185 million with the Minnesota Vikings. You know how many playoff wins that equated to?
How many?
I'd say 0.
It was 1.
One?
Yeah. He's got 1 playoff win in his career. He's 35. He's coming off the ACL injury. You've got a coach, a retread in Raheem Morris, who I love as a defense coordinator, but he didn't have a lot of success with your Tampa Bay Bucks.
He had Jameis Winston.
He did, but Kirk Cousins, it's an upgrade, but anything was going to be an upgrade. And to give this guy $100 million guaranteed, who's won 1 playoff game. By the way, Jared Goff has won 5 times as many playoff games as Kirk Cousins. And this is going to be the savior of your franchise?
Jared Goff's actually a good postseason quarterback. I mean, you can say what you want about Jared Goff.
Jared
that guy
Goff
delivers in the postseason.
Has become a good quarterback. But still, when you've got 5 times the wins in the postseason, that's pretty amazing. Anyway, I've got Kirk Cousins coming up on.
Yeah, I was surprised at the number. Not that Atlanta went and got him. This was rumored all the way back in the middle of last year as a possible trade.
Yeah, his wife's from there. He apparently wants to live there and finish his career there. And
can buy a hell of a house now with $100 million.
And hang out there the rest of his life.
And it's probably the best upgrade you could get. I mean, give me. You think Russell Wilson would have been a better upgrade than Kirk Cousins?
No,
I don't
like
either.
Kirk Cousins.
I do too.
No, what I would have done, I don't know. I still think Atlanta needs to draft a quarterback.
You'd still do that even with $100 million guaranteed to Cousins.
I mean, that's the problem. Is the $100 million.
Because the good year is it's a 4-year deal, Brown. So by the time the rookie contract, if you drafted a quarterback, is coming up, you can flip them out.
You just go from one big deal to another one.
Well, I think Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback.
Looks fantastic. He hadn't waited a while.
Yeah, I mean, he waited for 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean,
Aaron Rodgers did that with Green Bay. Green Bay sort of does that.
The thing with the NFL is you just don't get a shot at good free agent quarterbacks because if they're good enough, they never make it to free agency. So this is about as good a free agent quarterback as you're going to get unless you get a Aaron Rodgers late in his career. You know, you'll occasionally get that. Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, where I'm only going to get a couple years of them, but I'm getting Hall of Fame years, Peyton Manning to the Broncos. Most of the time in the NFL, you just don't get a shot at a good quarterback at free agency.
It was a crazier day for running backs, everybody jumping at any offer they could get. Tell us about Michelson, and we'll jump into what happened with the running backs yesterday.
Hey, a lot of people getting their tax refunds. Spend it on something that is important to you. If you've been procrastinating, waiting to get LASIK, now is the time. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, they have held their pre-inflation pricing for a couple of years now. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. Ask about that pre-inflation pricing. I'm speaking from experience. I was wasting money each and every year on contacts and solutions. I now have 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Make the phone call that I did. Find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
For the best of the best, about $10 million a year. Josh Jacobs, who led the league last year, 4 years, $48 million to Green Bay. Saquon Barkley, 3 years, $37.8 million to Philly. Pollard to the Titans for 3 years, $24 million. DeAndre Swift to Chicago, 3 years, $24 million. Eckler to the Commanders, 2-year, $11 million. Aaron Jones to the Vikings. We're waiting on Derrick Henry, who looks like he's going to end up with the Ravens. Cincinnati cut Joe Mixon to sign Zach Moss to a 2-year, $8 million deal. Running back market is flat or dropping, and it looked like on the first day you could. The running back said, okay, you're offering me that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Aaron Jones was the big surprise because Green Bay had indicated there was no chance they were losing him.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But then you had a chance to go Josh Jacobs. Who would you rather have? Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs?
I'd rather have Aaron Jones.
I'd rather have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I'd rather have Aaron Jones. And look, Aaron Jones only played in 11 games last year, but down the stretch, he was really, really good. He's only 29 years old. I can't believe they let him go in division.
I mean, what's Josh,
it doesn't really
25?
matter because the Vikings don't have a quarterback.
What's Josh, 25, 26?
Oh, yeah, he's younger.
He's younger, so, I mean.
Yeah, but I don't know that there's
resetting the odometer.
I don't know there's an obvious upgrade Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. I don't know that it's that obvious of an upgrade. If anything, it's just a lateral move. To your point, you reset the odometer for about the same money, right?
Yep.
It's just weird to me when players do this in division, like Aaron Jones going from Green Bay to Minnesota, and like Saquon Barkley going from the Giants to the Eagles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just feels so weird when it's in division like that.
But
why the Cowboys not in on Saquon Barkley? Why would you let him go from the Giants to the Eagles when, I mean, Saquon Barkley?
Oh, when he's healthy,
he's healthy. I mean,
he's a top 3 running back.
If I'm Jerry Jones and I'm staring down a Super Bowl before pearly gates, or the other option, I would like to know. I'd like to take one run at Saquon Barkley back there with Dak and those receivers.
Yeah, the problem is the running back position. It's never going to be as valued as it once was. It will never come back because you start to look at how volatile it is. I mean, Josh Jacobs led the NFL in rushing 2 years ago. This past year, in your top 5 were James Cook and Kyron Williams. And I don't even know if a lot of people can tell me where James Cook and Kyron Williams played this year, if you're not a diehard NFL fan.
James Cook, this is tough.
I mean, I'll give you Kyron Williams played for my Rams.
Yeah, I knew that one. I was trying to go James Cook, though, and I almost said the Jets, but that was Dalvin Cook.
He is in division, James Cook.
Yeah, I'm going to
with you.
Yeah, James Cook played with the Bills.
Oh, he was with the Bills.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, he was with the Bills.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, I mean, it's just such a volatile position, and these guys just aren't going to make the money. And you wonder how this affects. Like, if you were an incredible athlete at 13 or 14 years old, would you not change your position?
Yeah, I'm going cornerback.
Yeah. Again, we say it all the time. By the way, Joe Mixon to the Texans just now as part of a trade. You mentioned him with Cincinnati. So
I was hoping Saquon was going to end up with the Texans.
Yeah. Well, Texans team. Look out. They're going to be a sexy pick next year.
Yeah, they really will be.
And we talk about all the time that Daniel Jeremiah said on this show, if you're a father and your child is deciding between receiver and defensive back, I encourage you to tell him defensive back. He says, every year at the draft, I got more tape than I can get through on wide receivers, and I'm beating the bushes for defensive back tape. Every year in the draft. And I don't know if you've noticed, the price ain't that much different.
Brooks, it's either hell or Houston. It's both about the same to me, is what Jerry Jones would probably say. Hey, also, a couple others. During the show yesterday, Landon Dickerson of Alabama became the highest paid guard ever. Big deal there with Philadelphia. And then your Dolphins got rid of Christian Wilkins.
That hurts.
What was happening with Miami yesterday? They had some.
Miami's got salary cap issues. They've had to restructure a couple of things, specifically Jalen Ramsey's contract, to help their salary cap issues. And Christian Wilkins was a free agent. They did not franchise tag him. And obviously, we're not in on paying what it was going to take to keep Christian Wilkins, knowing what they've got to pay in the future to keep that offense together. You're about to have to pay Tua a big number. Jalen Waddle is coming up. You're going to have to pay him a big number. You already are paying Tyreek Hill a big number. You can only pay so many guys a big number.
But Xavier Howard, that was a cost-cutting measure. Now Christian Wilkins, you put all this emphasis on the offense.
Howard has been really inconsistent, though. I'm actually okay with that.
Well, I'm watching Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins, he's fantastic.
I'm watching him right now. He makes every tackle.
Christian Wilkins, I told you, he's my second favorite. He's my second favorite Dolphin. You can't keep all these guys.
The last 3 teams to win a Super Bowl, Kansas City, the Rams, and Kansas City, had dominant defensive tackles in Chris Jones and Aaron Donald.
Yep, absolutely right. And Christian Wilkins, I think, is in that category.
Oh, yeah, I think he's top 5 guy.
Yeah.
That's why he got $110 million.
That's right. Good for him. I love Christian Wilkins. You won't hear me say a bad word about him. Guy played his tail off every play.
Yeah. Carlton Davis, longtime Buccaneer, now with the Detroit Lions, and that was a crazy day of movement. Back when I was a kid, the players played with one team forever. They didn't make a lot of money, and we walked to school uphill both ways.
The only time they played for a different team was like late in their career, right? Yep. When the other team just finally had enough of them.
Now you got to figure out at the start of camp every year who's on your team. Crazy day yesterday in the National Football League, and it will continue for the next few days. Show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Hemp Services. We'll get back to basketball, Samford's big win, and more on Fox's. We talked about it last week when it was announced, but I want Brown's thoughts on Fox doing college football on Friday night. That's coming up in the next segment as well. Tell us about him.
Hey, we talk about jumping teams, and I'll tell you, 205-229-2090. Do you think we live in a day now that you're going to have a player coming out of college where he ultimately plays for more programs in college than he does NFL teams? I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, for instance, Drew Pine 1 year Notre Dame, one-time Notre Dame starter, 8-2 as a starter. 1 year at Arizona State, only started one game, completed 49 passes in that one game against USC. Now he's back at Notre Dame finishing his degree, and then he's going to enroll at Missouri this summer to be Missouri's quarterback, so that'll be 3 schools for him.
I saw one of the clickbait headlines. Drew Pine says he's playing for an SEC school, and I'm like, Drew Pine can't demand that. And then I saw it was Missouri. I was like, that makes sense.
Maybe so.
205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham has trust since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour. 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Back with you on the Next Round, show being brought to you in part by our friends at the University of Montevallo. Great place to go to school, montevallo.edu. I had a chance to hang out with some friends of mine from Montevallo last night at dinner, Pam and Ruth and the gang in town, former Montevallo basketball players. You can make those kind of connections, graduate programs, and a lot more. Nursing school coming. It's all right there at the University of Montevallo. Apply now. Look at that beautiful campus if you're watching us on any of our video platforms. Montevallo.edu to schedule an in-person tour. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports. Find out why you belong at Montevallo, montevallo.edu. All right. Samford wins basketball last night. We started the show with that, did 15 minutes on the start of the show. But Rockstar, give me cut number 2. Here's Bucky McMillan, who is the head coach at age 40. And they will be now in the NCAA tournament. We all agree, when you watch on Selection Sunday, again, we'll be watching on Selection Sunday on this platform you're watching us on now. join us at about 4:55 Central Time on Sunday, and we will be hanging out here, and we'll react to the selection show and have a watch party with you. So watch us and the selection show at the same time. But Samford will not have to worry about playing in the play-in games. They're good enough and will be a higher enough seed that they will be playing on Thursday or Friday. And Bucky saw something in this team back when they first gathered in the summer.
I saw this group, and I said it in the summer. I'm one of these guys that's for real. I say this, like if I don't think that this team has it or a group has it, I say we're missing this. I don't know if the leadership's going to get there. I don't know this. I saw this group, and I said I think we'll win the league this year because I saw what they had and who they were. When you get great people together and they come together like we have, adversity's not going to stop anything. And that's what our team was this year. We overcame everything. We set every Samford record. And if you think about it, when we talked about those promises that I said we do, we won 3 SoCon championships the past 2 years. And this ain't going to be the last one. We're going to keep recruiting the right people and have the right people in our program that are about the right things that will carry on and follow the guys that you saw play today.
So now they're back in the tournament since 1999 and 2000, and Samford will be in your main bracket. And as we discussed earlier, but another quick thought on that, this is a dangerous team that will fall into a slot where we see 5-12, 4-13 upsets in the first round of the NCAA tournament. We know Samford because we're just down the street from their campus. But as you see their celebration last night, there is a chance that they're one of those teams that come next Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon that the whole country's talking about.
If I'm Lance, and this is, coaches probably don't think this way, but I know I do, filling out a bracket. If I'm a 3 or a 4 and I'm playing in that early slate on Thursday and I see that team pop up next to my name, I'm scared to death because that's when, Phil, you mentioned it, Furman and Virginia was in that early Thursday window. That's when it feels like you almost always get a big upset.
It was at 11:15, I think, tip time.
Michigan State that year that I had them winning the national championship was the first game out.
First game out.
We were at Twin Peaks doing the show, and I'm sitting there watching it unfold and going, my bracket is going down with the very first game.
Yeah, and this Samford team, again, I think they got their nerves out last night. That might make no sense, but I think they were so tight knowing going into that game with 28 wins, the most in Samford history. If they lost that game, they are completely out of the tournament. So they found a way to beat East Tennessee State. They've got 29 wins now. They can score. They can shoot. They didn't shoot well last night. And Achor, he is going to be a problem. He's a handful on the post for a lot of teams out there. And I agree with you, Brown. If I'm a 4 and I see that as the 13 draw, and going back, Furman was able to pull off the upset against Virginia. And then unfortunately for Furman, they got a bad draw and played San Diego State, who ultimately played for the national championship last year. They got them in the second round. But
If I'm in that early Thursday window, I feel like that early Thursday window gives you an upset every year.
Speaking of television windows, Fox announced last week they will play on a broadcast on main Fox, most of it because of the World Series. There'll be a couple of Friday nights that possibly could be on FS1. But main Fox, college football, Friday nights, Big 10, Big 12, Mountain West. I'm excited about this. I think it'll be a big window for Fox. What do you think of it, and which game do you think we're getting? It won't be the biggest game on Fox.
No, you seem to think it might be the biggest Big 12 game, though.
It could be. It could be.
My thoughts on it are, and this is probably more of a regional concern, though there's some areas in Big Ten country where this is the case, specifically Ohio. I don't like doing this to high school football. This is making people make really, really difficult choices. And I just don't feel the same way when it's NFL and college. I don't know that you got a ton of crossover in guy that goes to every college football game and guy that goes to every NFL game. I think there's a lot of separation there. Not to say that people don't watch it.
Right.
But I'm a season ticket holder to the Eagles and Penn State. But there's probably some of those, but I don't think there's a ton of crossover in that.
As I discussed on the show that I didn't know existed, there's actually a law that the NFL agreed to that they don't play on Friday nights, protecting high school football.
I think, Lance, this would be – I don't think you'll ever see the SEC do this because, first of all, I don't think they want to give up Saturdays. They don't have to. And number two, I just think in the South, this would be – It's be sacrilegious to play. Could you imagine playing an Alabama football game or an Auburn football game on a Friday night against a good opponent, and all these parents that have season tickets to Alabama, but their daughter's a cheerleader or their kid's in the band or their son's playing?
And, you're always going to defer to your kid. So looking at Friday, September 6th, BYU at SMU. And think about the high school football in Texas.
Yeah.
I know SMU's not a big university.
But still, in Dallas, it's big-time high school football.
Now, keep in mind, that's SMU, so they'd be under the ACC.
Yeah,
hard to forget. They're on the ACC.
BYU is Big 12.
Yeah.
SMU is ACC.
I don't like it because I just think you got to protect. High school football is a community event. It doesn't have the money that's flowing in like the NFL and college. And they depend a lot on ticket sales. Yeah. Like college football, ticket sales are important. TV money is the deal. NFL TV money is the deal. That doesn't exist in high school football.
Keep in mind that Fox had the wrestling, the Friday night, whichever one that was, the SmackDown or whatever it is.
That's what started this.
And they chose to let that go. They did not re-up that contract. They're moving that to streaming to allow for this because they believe this will get much higher ratings than the wrestling did on Friday night.
I mean, I've watched there's been Friday night football before.
Yeah. I think, and I said this, I think you were out last week when we brought this up, Dunaway, but I think, Brock Huard, that number 2 on Fox, at least this year, I would do my best to have the best Big 12 game on Friday night and really landmark that time slot.
Like the ACC used to do with Thursday nights.
Yeah, you'd walk around if you're Fox and you'd pee on all the Friday night bushes to mark your territory.
I would. I mean, Brock, you guys give me Brock is their number 2 behind Klatt.
He is.
And I would put that team, I think it's Jason, Brock, and Allison.
Yeah, you'd give them a good Big 12 game.
Yeah, I would.
The problem is if it's a Big 10 game, it's going to be the 4th choice after CBS and NBC, I think, line up and get the 2nd and 3rd choice.
Because you're going to have Big Noon, CBS, NBC, and then back around to Fox. Yeah.
But ESPN's been playing their best weeknight games on Friday the last couple of years. Thursday night's gotten where it's really bad because the NFL's there. So the Friday night's been the better ESPN night. This is Fox going head-to-head with ESPN again. Really interesting. Monday Night Raw is the one that's moving to streaming. SmackDown's moving to USA Network. Thank you, Jacobo, for the correction on that. I appreciate that. All right, top of the hour. When we come back, we will circle back to some basketball and some more college football news is out. Couple of programs out on the practice field this week for spring. Auburn's back at it today. We'll jump into a little college football. Dr. B bringing you the show today. And LT's also got 4 downs coming up in the next segment as well.
Dr. B, I actually did the non-invasive treatment last night watching Samford basketball. 30 minutes, 3 times a week. That's all I'm doing. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. When I started to thin out and we started to do this venture, I asked around. Everyone said Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to go see. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein and that staff today. Schedule the consultation, 205-319-0316. For more information, you can always go online, t3hair.net.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Jameis Winston, I just saw this on McAfee, got a 1-year deal with the Browns for a nice paycheck.
Well, that guy.
To be a backup quarterback there.
He's going to hang in there, isn't he?
Eating those paychecks.
Yep. Yeah, let me tell you, though, the best thing Jameis Winston did in this offseason, at least in my eyes, for me, he's done a lot of interviews, especially with the Barstool folks. Including the Sunday Conversation and a couple other of their podcasts, came across really, really funny and genuine and actually making fun of himself about eating that W, about how he got carried away. And it was sort of a running joke that they had going, and it just carried over and got caught on NFL film. So they talked about eating that W. And I left there thinking to myself, I like Jameis Winston a lot better after seeing those interviews. So he's got a chance to be the backup to Deshaun Watson.
Which, by the way, got a lot of playing time this year.
That's right, which means he could play a lot in Cleveland with some pretty good receivers. Some more college football news, and we tell you that as Nick Saban and Greg Byrne and others are testifying in front of a subcommittee in Congress today about the name, image, and likeness. This hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Swing by there and enjoy a great Southern cooked meal. Brined overnight and cooked to order, so it comes out piping hot. 2 big breasts and all the great sides. That's my favorite. I start off with those wonderful Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Little kick to them. Hand-cut chicken fingers, too, and so much more. It's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. All right, Auburn back at practice today as they are working towards their A-Day, which is coming up on April the 6th. Georgia at practice this week. The team that's won 2 of the last 3 national championships but missed the playoffs last year. If you look at Georgia's early schedule, unlike years past, we're going to get to find out what Georgia's got early on. I think most people think they win all of these games, but they open with Clemson. Could be interesting in Atlanta, though the point spread came out double digits, Georgia. They do road games at Kentucky and Alabama and home to Auburn before they get to the rest of their schedule. So through 5 weeks, they've got Clemson in Atlanta, neutral site, road game Kentucky, road game Alabama, home to Auburn. Throw in a Tennessee Tech there, give me, and that's a interesting start to the schedule for the Dogs.
It is. I know one of our go-tos has always been Georgia going undefeated in the regular season. I think that obviously Georgia's the new Alabama, even though they didn't win the national championship. with that, I think they're going to be favored in every game, even on the road in Tuscaloosa and Austin.
I agree with you, but to me, after you get that start, they go home game Mississippi State, and then that's where the schedule really kicks up to me. I mean, Alabama's obviously an interesting contest, but then Georgia at Texas, a rivalry game Florida, at Ole Miss, at home game to Tennessee, and then the 2 wins at the end with UMass and Georgia Tech. But that's an interesting schedule for Georgia. It looked so much easier in the past.
Yeah, but road games in Tuscaloosa, Austin, and Oxford are not easy.
Yeah,
and it's been a long time since they have faced 3 road games of that magnitude.
Preseason, I don't know what they'll be by the time they play Georgia, but 3 preseason top 10. I'll say top 10 teams.
No, I would say Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss, along with Georgia, are your SEC favorites to be in the playoffs. That's your 4 favorites.
Yeah, and I think the only team that could be outside of the top 10 preseason would be Ole Miss, but I think they're in.
Yeah.
And I think along with LSU is going to be a top 15. I think Missouri's going to be a top 15. I mean, you've got Oklahoma. You might have 7 of the top 15 are SEC.
And I'll tell you, Ole Miss has a manageable schedule prior to Georgia. I'm not saying they're going to be undefeated.
Yeah,
but
we've gone through it before. You pointed out it's worth looking at again for us if you want to pull it up. But a lot of people have said, including you on the show before, Brownie, that Georgia could go into that Ole Miss could go into that Georgia game unbeaten.
I think they're going to drop one, but for those that cannot see it, they open with Furman, Middle Tennessee, at Wake, Georgia Southern. If they aren't 4-0, something has gone terribly wrong. All due respect to EG's Georgia Southern Eagles. They are not winning a ball at Hemingway. They host Kentucky for homecoming, at South Carolina, at LSU. Bye week, host Oklahoma, at Arkansas. And there are losable games there, but if I told you Ole Miss is undefeated in that stretch of football, it does not blow you away.
Nope.
But I think they'll probably take a loss somewhere. But even as a one-loss team playing Georgia at home, that's a huge game for them.
And to your point about Georgia's schedule, when you talk about what is perceived to be on paper your toughest competition for a league championship, and all 3 of those games are on the road, that's a pretty tough draw for the Dogs this year.
Far tougher than they used to get being an East team.
Exactly
and it was, like Lance said, the fact that they always had Florida neutral site, and then they played the rest of that East schedule. We almost always started the year talking about Georgia's schedule and giving them wins, and you just don't do that right now.
I'll give Forrester time to find Notre Dame's schedule for me if you can, Forrester, if you'll look on that. Between the Georgia schedule and Notre Dame, one other point, Penn State goes out today, and they start practice. Where are you on Drew Aller after 1 year last year?
Well, I liked him. I'll tell you what, I liked him at the end of the Auburn game when he came in 2 years ago at the end of the Auburn game. And they were talking about how this is the future. This is the future of Penn State. And I kind of liked what I saw. And then I can't remember who they played early in the year, Lance. I watched him. I was like, man, I think they got something here. But he just never really – he just kind of hit the skids after that.
Yeah, that's another one of those programs. So who was the McSorley kid that was so good?
Trace McSorley.
McSorley. Yeah, they haven't had a really good quarterback since then.
No, I liked Aller until I saw him play last year, and then he did not deliver.
Yeah, boy, he was hyped coming out, but maybe this is that year.
Remember, they've got Julian Fleming, the transfer from Ohio State, as one of their top receivers there at Penn State. They're on the practice field. I wanted to bring up Notre Dame because, Riley Leonard's going there to be quarterback. Marcus Freeman's in that always important 3rd year. But by Notre Dame standards, their schedule, to me, looks like Notre Dame should be a playoff team this year.
Well, I think they got a tough one to start, though.
Well, they've got where is that schedule? They've got really short odds considering. I mean, they had better odds than Alabama to get to a college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because of the Notre Dame schedule that, as you look at it here, that opens it up. At Texas A&M, it's tricky.
That's a tough game at Texas A&M.
But then after that, Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville's an interesting game. Stanford,
but it's in South Bend.
Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State's an interesting game. Virginia, Army, and at USC. So 4 games. A&M, Louisville, Florida State, and USC.
Yeah, by the way, unique looking schedule, but very junky.
It's a little bit
and a little hard to follow.
If they make it past A&M and Kyle Field, and Lance, I don't know what you would say an early point spread is on that
I would say run a pick. I think A&M might be like a 1-point favorite. I don't know. It's Elko's debut.
If they make it, his old quarterback, Riley Leonard.
If they make it past that, I'm not sure they break a sweat too much till Florida State.
Yeah. Louisville's going to be good team. Good team.
Yeah,
Good team.
yeah.
Get them in South Bend.
That's a revenge game.
Get Florida State and South Bend at USC.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to like 3 swing games. I mean, there's no big numbers. Even Florida State, USC, A&M, those are games that are all around a pick.
You think a 2-loss Notre Dame team with that schedule, they're in?
Yeah, they're in.
I think they're in, yeah.
Yep.
I think 3 losses makes it super tricky.
Yeah,
especially depending on who the 3 are.
I would
losses
lean
don't get in.
Yeah.
Notre Dame in.
I would say Notre Dame in. That's why I wanted to bring that up there.
Yeah, but
because I was having dinner last night with a Notre Dame guy, and he's like, our schedule's pretty blah this year. And I said, are you ready to go to the Big Ten? And he's like, no, I'm not ready to go do that yet. But, this schedule this year is not interesting to me. You've got 4 swing games, and 2 of them are on the road. His home season ticket schedule.
Oh, so this guy has season tickets.
Yeah.
So he's getting Northern Illinois, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Virginia. That's his season ticket. And Army. Yuck. What a bad season.
Do you remember there was a time we
package.
would look as fans at schedules and you'd be like, I've got to be able to navigate a 9-1 to find a way to get to a college football playoff. Now, all you got to do is find a 10-2 or maybe even a 9-3.
And I apologize. Army's actually neutral site. So his home schedule.
Army's at Yankee Stadium.
It is. And they play Navy at MetLife Stadium as they go for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. They play. Here's his season ticket package. Northern Illinois, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Virginia. That's what. And I guarantee you he didn't get a discount for it.
No.
Whew. No. That is a crap season ticket package.
Touchdown Jesus. All right. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at MyBookie, Brownie. Rattle Brownie's cage over here. Let me read one more. MyBookie.ag.
Wake up, Brownie.
They also bring us our bracket challenge at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. These guys pointed out earlier, there's no urgency for you to go there at nextroundlive.com.
Ask one simple question.
I want to try to sell you on
Condescending
it.
Jim has got to keep harping on that. I'll just ask, is there really a limit?
I don't think so, but just in case, I'd go sign up right now if I was you. Nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, presented by our friends at MyBookie, MyBookie.ag. And there's more things you can do at MyBookie.
Yeah, absolutely. This is on me that I don't already have this pulled up. We've got a game going on right now.
Oh, we do.
Is there TV on this?
It's tournament time.
I know. What am I doing over here? I've got the remote.
Which game?
We got Fordham and Davidson. Lance, was this up at Lance'sLive.com?
It tipped at 10:30. And I was like,
that's absolutely on ESPN2, bro.
Lance does not like the 10:30 games.
10:30 game's tough, man.
But right now, you could have
just play name the conference.
Fordham and Davidson.
I'm going to go. That's A10.
That is, I'm pretty certain A10. Anyway, Davidson tipped as a 4.5 point favorite up 2 right now. Oklahoma State, UCF going pretty soon here. How about Oklahoma State having to play on the first day of the Big 12 tournament? How that program has fallen, huh? So you can play all those games right there. I mean, they got a huge slate of action.
By the way, they're an underdog against. Who would have thought Oklahoma State in Central Florida's first year in the Big 12 would be an underdog?
Yeah, Oklahoma State catching 4 in that game tonight at MyBookie.ag. Play all those college games at MyBookie.ag. Code next round. When you use code next round and sign on at MyBookie.ag, you're going to get that initial bonus. Now, anybody can give you a bonus, right? But it's what happens after the bonus. Well, you play with it. You win once with it. It is yours and yours forever. It's not one of those bonuses where I got to win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, start stacking wins. I win once with it. It is mine and mine forever. MyBookie.ag. Code next round to get that bonus. Code next round at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag. Code next round.
Nice job, Brown. Take
Thanks,
the rest
Jim.
of the day off.
I'm done.
JD in Huntsville. He is next with us on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline. Hey, JD, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Yes. Good morning. First, I wanted to call yesterday to talk about the SEC women's WWE match. I really, there's so many things that you could talk about with that. The LSU coach, did she really want Angel Reese to come out there and duke it out with Cardoso? I mean, I just, why do you say stuff like that?
Bad luck. And you got plenty of time to, well, I don't know. She did kind of jump off the cuff, but yeah, bad comments.
No, because she is who she is. That Kill Mulkey lady, I've had enough of her.
Yeah. I would say that she was making a point that it's easy for 6 whatever girl to push around a 5'10" girl. Notice she didn't push that my 6'8" girl.
Yeah, Dawn Staley handled it much better.
Yeah,
Dawn
I don't
Staley.
think, some certain girls have what we call the resting bitch face. I think Mulkey,
she doesn't have to be resting.
embraces that.
That's just
She's worked on it.
That's not just girls. I've got it too.
Yeah, Jim does have it.
Yeah.
I've never stared at you long enough.
Yeah.
I think Angel Reese went back to the bench because she don't want no part of Cordosa. She only want a part of her when she can grab her hair and then run away. Cordosa would have dropped her too, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anything to do with Cordosa.
No.
Yeah. But there was
anyway.
no punches thrown in this thing, right? It was just a little shoving, yes.
Just I don't know. But, guys, the top 6 teams in the SEC tournament, here's some interesting facts, okay? Tell me, who do you think had the toughest – who played the most potential tournament teams of these top 6, do you think?
Alabama did. They lost most of them, but Alabama did.
Alabama played 15 so far. We don't know who's going to make it, but there were 6 and 9 in that. Auburn only played 9. They're 3 and 6. Tennessee played 14. They are 9 and 5. Kentucky played 12. They're 7 and 5. South Carolina only 9, and they're 5 and 4. In Florida 11. They're 5 and 6. Here's the thing, though. All SEC schedules are not created equal. Okay?
They are not. It is designed by the television partner of the perceived top-tier teams double up and play home and homes for TV purposes.
So Alabama played twice the number 2, the number 1, number 6, 7, and 8. Auburn played the number 4, number 9, 11, and 13. So they kind of got it a little bit easier. Tennessee played 3, 4, 5, 7, and they got Vandy twice. But they won most of those games. Now, they always they say things like, well, what did you do in your last 10? Who do you think is playing the best in their last 10?
Right now, Tennessee's playing pretty darn good.
Tennessee's 8-2. Kentucky's 8-2. Got to give Kentucky the edge because they just beat them at home. And Kentucky, to me, is just playing the best out of anybody. So I know they're the 3rd seed, and they would have to beat. Who are they going to get in that first game Friday night? By the way, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be up there in Nashville to watch that. My son's birthday. I'm taking him up there. But who are they going to play?
I think they'll play Texas A&M. I think it'll be A&M and Kentucky, and then I think it'll be Kentucky and either Florida or Alabama for Kentucky, and then I think it'll likely be Kentucky and either Tennessee and Auburn for the SEC championship.
So Alabama's they're limping into this thing. They're only 6 and 4 in their last 10. So
and banged up right now.
Thank you, JD.
They'll be sitting okay on Selection Sunday though. As a 5 seed is my projection.
I don't feel good about my stake bet with you on the Sweet 16 now. I forgot how many teams I've got.
You got to have 4.
Yeah.
And Alabama's one of them?
Well, I mean, think about it. They're going to get 6 in.
Yeah.
I don't think Mississippi State's getting in. I don't think A&M's getting in. I think you've got 6 teams getting in, and 4 of those 6 have got to win 2 games.
4 SEC teams.
Yeah, I thought at the time I made the bet, I was thinking 8 in my head.
What
7
time?
to 9 at one point. Yeah. 7 to 9. Mississippi State could still
I don't see it.
Get in. They've got to beat LSU, which is a tricky game. And then they've got to at least show up and make Tennessee interesting. A win over Tennessee would get them in.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I find that hard to believe, though.
Yeah, they got to keep it interesting in Tennessee to waste. At least the committee at that point is like, okay, they've shown that they can not lose however many in a row there. Nate Oates 10-0 in Nashville, says Daniel.
That tracks.
By the way, it was on this day 4 years ago that we shut all of sports down and eventually the world.
I remember that
pandemic.
I do too. And there was
Gobert was last night, and then it was on this day that we decided we weren't playing the SEC tournament, and everything else, Major League Baseball, spring training, all of it was shut down.
So we were in the Jock Studios, and I remember getting that uneasy feeling of, really, what's going on? Like, if we have come to a point where we are halting an SEC basketball tournament,
what has happened?
Where is this thing going? And then ultimately, it should have never been in that situation, but it was an interesting time, and well, I tell you who it sucked for was Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton was the overall number 1 that year, weren't they?
Would have been a 1 seed. I don't know if they'd been overall. I think they were going to be the overall. I think they were.
Poor Anthony Grant.
Yeah. I mean, that was by far and away his best team.
Yeah. Our friends at Rump Shaker, big event coming up, Rump Shaker. Go in and check that out and go out for a great cause. colon rectal cancer awareness and a raise for research. You get that with the Rump Shaker.
Yeah, did you know that colon cancer, second leading cause of cancer deaths in America? It affects men and women equally if you're 45 or older. Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is the key. For more information, visit rumpshakerinc.org. Also, don't forget about the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. For more information and to get registered, go online today, rumpshakerinc.org.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach. Unless you haven't paid your phone bill, then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. Nextroundlive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to nextroundlive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Got it written down right here, Brownie. All right, trash coming up here in just a second. 4 downs will be in the last segment, Rockstar, today, as I'm being told by the know-it-alls in here today that I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
Keep notes for you.
Right, Lance fell on the fumble, though, Rockstar, so we still have possession. Don't worry.
That's why it's a team. That's why it's a team. I've been trying to preach up here all of 2024, less me, more we. Less me, more we.
There is no we in next round.
I have not heard that.
Hey, the show being brought to you by the fine folks with the Autograph app. Just be honest. Have you downloaded it yet, Brown?
No, I'll do it right now while you're talking about it,
Will
Jim?
you use the promo TNR because you get some exclusive access there. The Autograph app, co-founded by the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. This app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports, access to all the best sports content, including things like our show, exciting fan challenges, exclusive rewards. Now think about crazy discount tickets, limited edition merchandise, and more. You get access at Autograph through that. Just go to the Apple Store, download the Autograph app. It hooked up some lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for $16 a ticket this past week. 6 lucky fans got that through the Autograph app. That's what they call true fan pricing right there. Ready to join the party? Why not? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR. That's our code, TNR. It helps us out for exclusive access. And P.S., even more awesomeness is coming soon, just in time for the big tournament. Stay tuned to the Autograph app. Download it today. Less me, more we.
Hey, I've got it, Jim.
Less me,
Let's
more
hold
we.
him to it.
Hey, Purdue on Senior Day did a cool thing. They retired the number 15 jersey of Zach Edey.
Already?
Not only did they bring out that 15 in the thing, they said, "Hey, Zach, look down into the rafters because you're so tall."
What?
Yeah. We're going to hang your jersey up there.
Yeah, I think.
What do you think about that?
Look, retiring jerseys is difficult. I guess you just don't retire numbers, but I think they actually retired his number, didn't they?
The number 15.
Yeah. I mean, that's a difficult thing to do. That's a proud program. He's earned it, man. I mean, I know it hasn't equated to success in the postseason. I hope for Matt Painter and Zach Edey that Purdue does go on a run this year. I would hate to see this team be out in the first weekend.
It would be bad considering they've retired his jersey. Oklahoma, so excited about coming to the league. Have you seen what they're doing? They're taking the Sooner Schooner to every SEC campus and letting fans take picture with it. They started at Arkansas last week, and they are taking, there's pictures inside the stadium in Fayetteville, Sooner Roadshow Day, and they're taking the Sooner Schooner on the road, even to Tuscaloosa and Auburn, just to say thank you. We're glad to be in the SEC. They say they're going to all 15 other SEC campuses.
Oh, I bet there's one they don't go to.
I can't wait to see it roll into Austin.
Yeah, I bet they don't.
But Sooner Schooner, that's it in the Arkansas campus. I don't know where else they've been yet or if they have, but I think that's pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say they were building a bigger Sooner Schooner.
Yeah, Dunaway would say don't waste your time driving to Auburn and Tuscaloosa to see this thing.
You've seen it up close. I saw it up close, but it didn't jump out to me.
I mean, those are relatively normal-sized girls standing there.
Well, I was going to ask you
how small the wagon is.
How many jelly rolls the singer could fit in the back of the wagon?
He would shat. It'd be splinters.
No axles. The wheels would drop off.
We give Dunaway a lot of crap. And he earns some of it, but we give him probably more than he earns. I'll admit that. But I saw it the last time I saw Oklahoma play was Alabama-Oklahoma down in Miami in the 2018 playoffs. And Dunaway is right. That is a much smaller wagon than you would imagine.
When we were kids watching it for the first time on television, I guess I thought it was a full-size wagon.
I did too. I thought it was like a wagon that they used on the Oregon Trail, wagon train. It is a much smaller wagon, and I do believe they are Shetland ponies or some version of.
So it's almost like a tiny house.
Yeah, it's a lot like
I've seen it. It just didn't jump out to me.
Yeah.
Like, would you say this about Ralphie the Buffalo, though?
I bet that's an actual size buffalo, though.
I don't.
Well, yeah, I don't think they don't breed minis, do they?
Well, it is a female buffalo. Ralphie's a female, right?
I think so, yes. And those are slightly smaller than the male buffalo.
That's right, yeah.
Not to be that guy.
No, but I think they are.
but it really
That's a
is.
good thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many women want to be bigger than their men?
But the Longhorn, does he have a name? Bevo?
Bevo.
Bevo
He does have a name.
It's full size.
Yeah, that's a big cow.
And you can see some of those down with our friends at Farm Links down the road a bit. They got some of those in the pasture out there.
They do.
Beautiful looking animal.
Yeah, my wife.
Love to see them over a fire grill.
We were in Texas one time, and my wife, we were coming home. She's like, the only thing I regret is I didn't see any of those big Longhorn steer. I said, baby, I'm driving down to Farm Links to see a full pasture of them.
See them anytime you want.
have to go to Texas.
Yeah, all right. Time for trash. 4 down still to come. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you about a couple of new things we have going on. The Meltdown continues today at 2 o'clock.
I'm on there today.
Brian Brown's on there today. It was a great show yesterday, though, because they talked about the Oscars, the Academy Awards, which, by the way, 19.4 million people watch. Ratings were up this year.
I wasn't one of them.
They talked about it on the Meltdown yesterday. You can go back and get all their episodes just like you get this one. It's all right here on this YouTube channel you're watching us on. Just go down from where you're viewing us, and there's a Meltdown button or icon. Click on that, subscribe, like, set your alerts. 2 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday. Everybody has a role in that show, so go check that out. And then our own Taylor Korn has started her own channel over on Disrupt the Media YouTube channel. It's called Uncorked. Uncorked with Taylor Korn. And I'm told that she will have a mailbag every week. She'll have some travel vlogs where she's going to Europe. And
Little T's going to Europe.
She's going to Europe a little bit later on.
Man, she's determined.
And that even Rockstar will be on there, and they'll be sort of doing America's wackiest video reaction with Rockstar and some other things.
Is that what you're calling it?
Wacky things, yeah.
Yeah.
wacky.
All on Uncorked with Little T. So go to Disrupt the Media, like, subscribe, and follow that. And listen, if you don't do it for us, look into Taylor's eyes. Do it for Taylor. Come on, go Uncork with Taylor over at Disrupt the Media. Now it's time for Trash Rock. Sorry.
I have you on camera, and I have you.
I'm not threatening you. I'm gonna go there and cut that.
Is this your plant? I have no incentive to give you any positive politeness at all, do I? You were nothing but rude and belligerent. Have a good day, ma'am.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Yes, you too. Thank you.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
No. Uncorked is not about wine. It is just that occasionally Little T will become uncorked about things up here. For those that don't know.
There's a wine bottle in the logo.
It is. I mean, there's wine involved. She will drink some wine occasionally, but it's more about her becoming uncorked.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every single step of the process. As a veteran-owned, operated company, they understand the difference between working with someone who gets it and someone who doesn't. They've made it their mission to simplify the VA process. Visit their location, Highway 280. For more information, you can always apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You pulled a Dunaway there. I don't know if you've ever done that before. Well, you were like waiting for us to stop talking about something else so that you could get to the read into the business.
Well, I know. I mean, I don't care. We can go a little over today if you guys want. But I do know that we've got trash.
That's
and
right.
I know you love to squeeze me on 4Downs.
That's right. How many celebrity birthdays are 4
How many times have we, we're going to break it 11:20 around there, and it's 11:18. Let's get to 4Downs.
Dude, when we started this, we didn't have to worry about the clock anymore. So you're still worried about 11:20. I'm not worried about 11:20. If we start something at 11:18, we can go to 11:30.
How many?
Guess what I don't have today?
What?
A tea time.
Well, I do,
So-
but it's much later in the day. You know why? Because God got the clock rights again.
How many? That's true. I do like that. How many celebrity birthdays?
Coming up 2.
Okay.
2. Well, one's kind of a celebrity one.
Okay.
A little loose on
Borderline.
that. I'm going to try to, I don't know, kind of edit this one up. This is one of the longer trash stories. I think I can do it, Rocky. This one out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Gas station in Lincoln has fixed a glitch that allowed someone to pump thousands of gallons of fuel for free.
Come on up. I'll fill it up.
Quite the glitch.
Dawn Thompson, 45 years old, charged with 1 count of theft by unlawful taking $5,000 plus. Now, police say she used an exploit to pump free gas for more than 6 months. This is one of those things you gotta, if you are, I highly recommend not being a thief.
Yes.
Right.
But if you are, nickel and dime, right?
Well, the thing is that, just to fast forward on the story, is that she did this, but she also sold it to friends too. Like, hey, here's the glitch, here's the card. Pump some gas as much as you can before they fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was $27,000 worth of free gas. Police think the fuel was stolen between November 13th of 22 and June 1st of 23. In those months, the rewards card that Rocky was talking about was used 510 times.
Yeah. See, that's
moderation.
Just because the machine is giving you something, like an ATM, if it's not yours, if you're not getting what you're supposed to get, it doesn't mean that you get to keep it.
Yeah,
the
but they don't have
machine's
cameras
messed up.
on ATMs, do they?
The machine messed up.
Yeah, and that's another maybe lesson. If you get something deposited in your account, you get money spit out, you get free gas, walk away immediately because you already think that money's yours and it's not, and you're going to have to pay it back.
That's right. Yeah, the bank is not going to say, hey, you know what, we screwed up.
By the way, on the flip side of this, have you guys always heard that, like, when a gas station is closed, like if you're traveling but you pull off the interstate and you need gas, that at some gas stations you could still use their pumps?
I have done that before, but I think some turns it off.
Yeah, some turn it off. So I worked service station for a couple of years, and we would turn some of the pumps off.
Yeah, it always scares me to do it. I've never done it, but like I dropped my son off the other day. He was flying out for spring break, and I had driven back from Tuscaloosa, and I was low on gas. I needed some gas, and I was at the airport, and then there's 2 pumps right there where you sort of rent cars and leave cars.
Yeah.
And there's no attendant. It's not a normal gas station. I thought for a second, I wonder if I can pull up there and throw my card in there and get some gas. I did not.
Okay.
I went to the corner gas station.
Oh, I thought you were pulled up next to a Buick and siphoned gas out.
I've done that before, but not illegally.
So it's estimated that $7,413 worth of, or 7,413 gallons of gasoline were pumped during those uses.
That's got to be worth trillions.
True.
A woman said that Thompson sold the card sometime between this time and June of 23. And she has been arrested.
You can read more right now at 1011now.com. That's a weird website.
Is that like 3340? They're 1011?
I guess so.
Okay, are we going open at night? That's all I want to know about this next story. NBC News reports that information on a combination restaurant of IHOP and Applebee's is coming.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of either.
Can I get a short stack and some baby back ribs?
Before they were
Appletini
really available, like Applebee's as one of the first Fern restaurants in the 80s, I thought it was good back then when you didn't have a lot of options.
I used to love IHOP when I was a kid back in the day. And
I never did.
You know, I would see
I like pancakes.
I would go
I like waffles better.
Yeah, I do too.
Every 3 or 4 months to the IHOP that was open on 280. I would always see Sonny Smith and his wife Jan there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a Dunaway now. I like waffles better than pancakes. So I've always been a Waffle House guy more than an IHOP guy.
I'm with you guys too. Jack Taylor's not a Waffle House guy at all.
He doesn't like Waffle House.
Jason Layton love it.
Just more flavor in the waffle than the pancake.
I'm not a pancake guy now. Jennifer Brown loves some pancakes, but I do not.
I like pancakes at the house. And then I had them at a place, historic place this past weekend. Had a lot of flavor to them. They burned them a little bit, which I like them a little.
At a pancake house.
It's called what's it called? Waverly? Is that what it is?
The golf course?
No,
you would know Waverly.
What's the famous breakfast place that Bear Bryant ate in?
The Waysider.
The Waysider.
Yeah, they burned your pancakes.
They cooked them the way I wanted them. I asked them for a little crunchy.
So,
I want them the way Coach Bryant ate them.
Dine Brand CEO John Payton explained on the call there's a good reason to mash Applebee's and IHOP together.
Why not?
You guys aren't. You just wait on your edge of your seat. We can address, quote, all 4 day parts, and that is a big innovation that we're nurturing overseas, and that our intent is eventually we'll bring to the U.S. when we find the right opportunity to introduce it.
Breakfast in the morning, then lunch and dinner, and breakfast at night.
I don't think I'm ever leaving.
Yeah, what are we doing for lunch? We're going to booth 12.
We're walking right over there
in about 20 minutes.
Man in Green Bay with one-of-a-kind first name was taken into custody after alleged disturbance on the city's east side.
Let's see if we can guess his name.
0 chance, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Take a shot, Brownie.
Well, he's in Green Bay.
He's in Green Bay.
He's got Aaron Rodgers' hair.
He does not have.
He has got to do that. Neck looks so itchy.
One-of-a-kind name.
Yeah, I'm going to say it is Jesus Diablo.
I'm going to say this guy doesn't care about himself because he obviously gave himself this name.
Right.
But according to the criminal complaint obtained by Local 5, 42-year-old Deez Nuts Kroll was arrested after an incident involving a gun. Now, the complaint says that Kroll appeared to be highly intoxicated. It was also mentioned to authorities that Kroll identified on his Wisconsin ID card. It said Deez Nuts Lee Kroll.
You think his favorite flower is a tulip?
I like how he puts Lee in there because of you put
tulips on Deez Nuts.
Yeah.
So there are many ways people can make a little extra cash. One man saw the perfect opportunity to make some money, and it's all thanks to his dirty feet.
Oh, no.
Oh, y'all were worried about me, my bare feet at Way to Wellness on the scale a couple years ago.
No. Oh, God.
Nothing compared to that. I got clean feet.
Look at that creepy chick playing footsie with him.
What is Finn doing here?
That is a terrible look.
So this is George Woodville. He hasn't worn shoes since 2021, and now he makes the most of his grubby feet, sells photos of them on OnlyFans for some extra cash.
What a bunch of weirdos.
Who wants guys' feet?
He's making up to $1,100 a month extra from his foot photos.
Boy, this is not going to, if he's making $1,100, this is not going to help the people we know that have been interested in starting to sell their own feet
money
pictures.
there.
Well,
what does it cost to follow somebody like this on OnlyFans on the feet?
This OnlyFans thing.
I think they set their own prices. Like I'm sure, like I'm in like bigger.
He's making how much money?
$1,100 a month.
I swear I've never been to OnlyFans, and I don't guess any of you guys have been. But
I have not either.
Do you just
not yet?
You just go and is there just like a search bar and you're just like dirty feet, and then like 8 accounts pop up? I think I'll follow this old cat.
Well, I think you can get personalized too.
So I could pay this guy to say, "Hey, I want you to go rub your feet on."
Ryan, I'm a subscriber. Do something special for me.
Can you fix your hair?
Money.
Can you fix your hair like George Kittle and put a little mud on the bottom of your feet?
That is a very, very young George Kittle. I would think that you've got to have a big social media following to get an OnlyFans.
Probably.
Yeah. Adriana from The Sopranos, we talked about.
Yeah.
She was about to go broke.
Yeah. Saved her house.
Should we start a gym OnlyFans account with my feet and see if anybody?
I would love that. Yes.
Just for content.
Just follow it on the show.
Oh, it's a corn kind of day.
I don't have any corns.
Well,
what is too expensive for a bowl of soup?
Anything over $3.95.
What kind of soup?
So the Colonial Room at the Drake Oak Brook
tell me the soup, and
offering something unique for experienced-seeking diners. But they want to warn you, it is super expensive, and they spelled it with the soup, of course. So it's the upgraded version of the signature bookbinder soup. They prepare it with one of the world's most prestigious spirits, the Louis XIII cognac, as well as some other lavish flourishes. The price, $1,893 for a bowl of this.
And it's not going to fill me up. No, thank you.
I don't like soup.
Yeah.
If I never ate another bowl of soup, I'd be just fine.
I had a good gumbo last night.
I like gumbo. Now, I don't dislike soup. I guess I said that the wrong way. But if you told me, Brown, you got to cut out soup for the rest of your life, it would not miss a one bit.
I don't consider gumbo or chili a soup.
I kind of don't either. They're like in their own class. Yeah.
Okay.
But even if that happened, even if they said you could never have gumbo or chili again, I'd be like, well, you know what?
The protein in there is fish, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh, that's what that is? That's not
fish.
bread floating?
No, that's bread, but then there's fish in the soup.
I got a friend that eats a thing called salmon stew, Rockstar.
No, he doesn't.
100%.
Oh, God.
Salmon stew.
I've met that friend.
And he puts ketchup on it. He puts ketchup on it.
Oh, okay. That makes it better.
Yeah.
Now my wife
awful.
eats anytime we're at a good seafood restaurant.
Captain D's action, long time.
She will eat, what's that? Fresh fish and shell things in like a soup. There's a name for it.
What in the hell's going on?
Oh, like mussels and
mollusk
and fish and stuff in it. It's a soup.
I know what you're talking about.
There's
I
a
don't know the
name
name
for
of
it.
Yeah,
but it's
but that's a lot of work.
If we pop up the chat room, I'm sure the answer's over there. She loves that when it's really, really well done. But me, I'm like,
hard pass.
I am not eating fish soup.
Hey, did the new year add to your financial uncertainty? Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order. Their team of experts can make sure you're prepared for anything 2024 may bring, including freeing up the cash, things you need to get done. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right, location Highway 280. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Derrick Henry reportedly has a new home.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No surprise.
I said earlier in the show, likely going to sign with the Ravens. So it is the Ravens.
It is.
Yeah, there it is.
They give the numbers.
$16 million deal, 2 years, $16 million.
That's $8 million a year. That's good.
Thanks, Jim. Worth up to $20 million. $9 million fully guaranteed in year one. It's a good deal for him.
Yeah, good deal for him, and I think it's a great destination. It fits his personality perfectly.
I agree. Champy's Chicken bringing you that Derrick Henry developing news update. Thank you so much for all those words over there that I can now not pronounce.
Paella.
Paella is the word I'm looking for.
That's what it is.
Paella is the word I'm looking for. Maggie loves that. And I love Champy's Chicken. She can have her paella. I'll take Champy's Chicken all day long. Little meat on my bones there. 2 big breasts, all the sides. Mississippi Delta recipes, tamales, so much more. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Our show today is brought to you by our friends at Slice Pizza. Wonderful place to swing by there and enjoy a lunch or a dinner as well. If you were at Slice right now, Brownie, you would get?
Probably the Hot Mama, who my wife Jennifer was there. And she accidentally grabbed a piece. She's like, "That's hotter than I had."
Yeah, I've got to pull back. I love the Hot Mama, but it's too hot. Like one piece I can do, but then I start sweating.
Really nice of a Hot Mama to eat a slice of a pizza named after her.
That's what I told her.
That's a good line by you.
Yes, thank you.
You would get what, LT?
I probably would do a wing and a prayer.
Yeah,
today. A little spicy chicken.
If I was there for lunch today, what's today? Tuesday?
All day.
Tuesday, I would get a slice of the pepperoni. I'd get a slice of, I believe, the... which is the one with all the meat? It's called the
Little Piggy?
No, yeah, it is.
The Little Piggy.
It is.
And I would get a wedge salad. That'd be mine. It's sliced pizza. They bring you 4 downs. LT, I'll tell you more about Slice after this.
First down.
Better chance of happening. Samford to the second weekend to a Sweet 16, or Alabama or Auburn getting to Phoenix to a Final Four. It's tougher than you think, you know?
It is, especially without seeing matchups. Like Alabama or Auburn, I get 2.
Yep.
I'll probably take 2 versus 1. Yeah.
I think I would take Samford winning a game.
Yeah, but he said get the Sweet 16.
No, he said Auburn or Alabama
to the Final Four.
Sweet 16?
Yeah, I said Samford wins 2 games, or Alabama or Auburn wins 4.
Yeah. No, I would take Alabama or Auburn in that case.
Yeah.
I thought you said Samford winning a game. Okay.
Yeah, I think I would take Samford.
Second down.
Plenty of time. No need to rush through these.
I know. More playoff wins. Kirk Cousins with the Atlanta Falcons, or Carson Beck with the Georgia Bulldogs.
So moving forward, obviously.
Yeah, so this is going to be a one and done for Carson Beck.
Yeah, it is.
But I would take Carson Beck.
Yeah, because Carson he'll get opportunities this year, and possibly could get as many as 3 or 4. Probably not 4, because they'll get a bye most likely. I would take Carson Beck. I mean, because my God, Atlanta's got to go through Tampa Bay to get there.
Isn't that crazy, though?
NFC South championship.
Like, I think this is a legitimate question, and the Falcons just paid this guy a guaranteed $100 million.
I mean, I will be actually a little bit surprised if he gets a playoff win.
I think they'll get there. I think
they're good enough to get there.
I think they're probably the best team right now. At least they are favored to go. I think they're minus 110 to win the NFC South right now with Kirk Cousins. So I think, they're obviously going to be your favorite, but once you get there, I guess they'd be hosting a game.
Yeah, you're hosting a game against maybe the number 2 out of the East, and that's normally, right now that's a pretty good team, Dallas or Philadelphia. Last year, 2 years ago, it was the Giants who went in and beat Minnesota. Or you're maybe getting the 2 out of the West, which has been a really good division. Like you could see your Rams having to go to Atlanta Lance to play the Falcons.
Yeah,
San Francisco wins that division. I mean, that's
who did we beat last year in the first round of the playoffs? Philly.
Yeah,
we ended the Kelsey.
You lost to Philly and then turned around and beat Philly, right?
That's right.
Lost to Philly one year and beat them the next.
Yeah. No, we beat them both years.
No, they destroyed you one year.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, that's right. You destroyed them.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because that was en route to playing Super Bowl.
It's my team, bro. Yeah. My team. I think a better question, LT, right now. If you're a Falcons fan, would you rather have Kirk Cousins or Carson Beck?
Carson Beck.
Ask Forrester. Which one would you rather have?
Kirk Cousins, Forrester, or Carson Beck?
I don't know. Just let me enjoy having Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So Kirk Cousins.
Having a quarterback that...
Dude, we have shit on your head on this one, haven't we?
No, you're okay with it though, right, Scott?
Yeah, I like it. I don't know about 4 years and,
$100 million
marrying the guy.
Yeah. You say that, Dunaway. Like, you just signed Baker Mayfield. You'd rather have Carson Beck than Baker Mayfield, wouldn't you?
Probably. Tyler, thank you for walking back in. I mean, show me the wide shot again. You and Rockstar... We start off the show, and there's like 18 people back there running the show until Tyler walked back in just to get something to drink. It's down to just it's empty
they
chairs.
Left me.
There's the Lunsford's back. A little further, Lunsford. There's Lunsford. Thank you. All of a sudden, the back room in the third hour of the show is like LT in the second half of the football game.
Third down.
Mecole Hardman. By the way, game-winning touchdown this year in the Super Bowl. 27 years old today. Better NFL career, Mecole or Ladd McConkey?
Kirk Herbstreit, while you were gone, called Ladd McConkey Brownie the next Puka. Different styles.
Yeah, I don't love that comparison, but
you didn't know Puka was going to be Puka either.
No, but I mean, Puka was a 5th-round guy. Yeah. Ladd is going to be into 1st or early 2nd. And Ladd can fly.
Yeah, I took a shot at Ladd McConkey, and there's some guy on Twitter that has never let me forget it. It was partially tongue-in-cheek, but I misjudged that guy. I think we all did.
Mr. McConkey?
I can't even remember what I said about him. But basically, it was making a joke about the white possession receiver, an athletic guy, and that's not who he is. So I will try to redeem myself with this one guy, this one Georgia fan on Twitter that anytime Ladd McConkey made a big play, he would remind me of that statement and say, I think McConkey has a better career than Mecole Hardman.
I think McConkey's going to be really good.
Yeah. Give me Ladd.
I'll take Ladd McConkey as well. He's a gym rat, big upside.
Yeah, coach on the field?
Yeah.
Can't get him out of the film room. He will easily be the best Ladd in NFL history, right?
I don't know. Cheryl Ladd one time went to a game.
Such an
I don't know.
He's got to be the best Ladd.
I think in one Charlie's Angels, she dressed up as a NFL cheerleader to catch the bad guys.
But he might not be the best McConkey. Phil McConkey's got to be related to this guy, right?
I don't think they're related. I think I looked that up one time thinking he's got to be Phil McConkey's kid, and I don't think they're at all related.
There's a Caruth on Alabama's roster. Is there a chance he's kin to Paul Ott?
Paul Ott Caruth could be.
4th down.
James Taylor, singer-songwriter, 77 today. James Taylor, Lawrence Taylor, better career.
I'll hang up and listen, Paul.
Well, it's Lawrence Taylor. It's a better career. And I'm a James Taylor fan, Rockstar. Yeah, as you know, I've seen him in concert many times. My wife and I like his music. We used to go see him at Oak Mountain, sit up on the lawn. It was fantastic.
Hanging out with Terry Bowden.
Yeah, I was at that concert where Terry Bowden came in. It was a huge controversy the next day because he flew in after practice, right?
I was at that concert. I don't like James Taylor.
Yeah,
he left practice early.
Flew to Birmingham for a James Taylor concert, and all the Auburn fans were pissed the next morning on the Morning Express with Matt and Scott. I think Coulter was at the concert too.
Saw Terry Bowden last night.
Hey, so did they win that Saturday?
I think they won. I think I remember them winning the game.
Yeah, they don't.
But
hell, was it Iron Bowl week?
No. I want to say it might have even been like the season opener.
That was another one of those what is it? Fire and
Rain.
Fire and Rain.
See me a little bit of James Taylor.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were
But you remember
gone.
the old urban legend with that song was his
heroin.
girlfriend. Well, I thought it was his girlfriend went down in a plane crash.
Yeah.
And then there was the urban legend that You're So Vain was written about James Taylor.
Well, he was married to Carly Simon for a
But
while.
Carly Simon said it was not about him.
Well, he couldn't have been. He's the opposite of Vain.
Yeah. Puts on a great show. He explains his songs. He's got a good sense of humor, but he is also the first guy that the Beatles signed to the Apple label. He had a song, his first song, Something in the Way She Moves. Guess what? He wrote a song after that, George Harrison, called Something in the Way She Moves. It's just, James is amazing.
If James Taylor and James Spann, if I was like they're brothers and you didn't know who either was, would you be like, that can work?
Yeah, I mean, Feinbaum, too. He's got a little Feinbaum in him, James Taylor. I think it's the bald in the ears.
Bald in the ears?
James Taylor looks like he works at like a leather shop. Like works on belts or can put your purse back together.
You want two belts and a purse?
He's his guitar. I mean, he's a very good.
He's an amazing finger picking.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got a great
hard.
stump.
It's hard to replicate his guitar playing, right?
Yes, he's an incredible guitar player.
Well, you got this in, by the way.
Bob says Mick Jagger sings backup on Carly Simon's song.
Yeah, Warren Beatty was who. Michael says about Warren Beatty.
Well, Warren Beatty slept with all of Hollywood, I think, at one point.
Yeah. But Lawrence Taylor's the answer, even though I like.
I would agree. Lawrence Taylor changed the way the edge rusher was viewed.
That is 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
4 great locations, as Dunaway mentioned. Get in, see the Bajaya brothers. Created by the late Jeff. His brothers continue to celebrate his legacy. Both Jason and Chris. Get in, tell them the next round sent you. For more information, local pizza, local ingredients, slicebirmingham.com.
Look at that, Rockstar. I got it all in again.
You know why? Because it was me, not we.
It's all about
we, not me.
Things I did not get to today, real quickly. Before we get out
Almost
here.
4 Downs.
You ready? The British monarchy having to answer questions about the Photoshop yesterday. We talked about Kate Middleton last week. Now they're stepping on their toes.
I care nothing about the British royal family, but I find myself strangely fascinated in this story because she went in for surgery around Christmas, has not been seen publicly since. Then, to quell all the talking, they released a photo that was obviously photoshopped, and now they're having to walk that back. Something weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is like DeMar Hamlin-like.
Yeah, we had the photo that was DeMar Hamlin double lookalike riding to take the kids to school the other day. Didn't look like her. And now her arms, I think they measured it. She'd have to be 6'10" to have the arm length in the photo wrapping around both kids the other day.
And they said,
Anthony Davis.
They said the headshot was the one from the Glamour magazine, and they just used it. It is a weird story.
By the way, when you're at grocery stores and say, do you want to round it up for charity? That raised how much? $749 million for U.S. charities this past year, just rounding it up when you're at the grocery store.
That's actually pretty cool.
How about that? Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.